blood for the blood god, 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 blood for the blood god. Howdy.
Why, shalom. Can you hear me? Am I here? 2 viewers, can you hear me? Why, hello there. I've realized this weekend that if I'm not streaming like literally every single day, it's gonna be chaotic and like I will not be able to cover everything because nothing ever happened, bros. Their stock is down. Their stock is like in the fucking ground right now. Nothing ever happened, bros? Yeah, no. More like everything is happening all at once. It's it's crazy. Why? 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 My goodness. Hello, Yosh. Anyone else in the chat? Today, I'm the Shy Doomer. Just real quick, introductions, because I'm new and whatnot. I'm the Shy Doomer. I'm one of those lib cucks. I think people should have rights and whatnot, which is pretty lame and stinky, I know, right? I think your basic necessities shouldn't be profited on. You know? Yep. I'm I'm just a little goober, you know, just a little goober trying to exist. So today we're gonna be talking about some crazy stuff going on in the VTuber community. I personally am not really affiliated with the VTuber community. I just recently started watching VTuber stuff because I have a VTuber now and I'm labeled as a VTuber because it's just out of, you know, easiness. I don't have to like put myself together. I can just roll out of bed and turn on stream. Awesome. That's great. I love that. So like I made a VTuber model for these streams and now I'm considered a VTuber. And now I was like, okay, probably should understand what the community is like. And apparently, up until recently, until I joined, the VTuber community was untouched, untainted with what we're gonna go over in a second. There's some chud stuff going on, and yeah. After that, we will talk about after that we're gonna talk about like the school the shooting that happened in Minnesota, which is pretty yikes. The right wingers losing their freaking mind. But for now, I just want to chill. I just want to chill for a second and yap. Wait for people to come in. And if no one comes in, that's fine. That's fine. I'll just talk to myself like a schizo, because that's how we do this. That's how you start. That's how we roll. You know. Man. Let me make sure everything is working on the Discord. I mean, not the Discord, but the YouTube end. Gotta check that. Having... Yep, it looks like everything's running fine. Okay. Coolio. The lag isn't even that bad. That's crazy. I thought the lag would be way worse. But yeah. Okay. Why is everything happening all at once? That's my question. What are they hiding? What are they hiding, you know? the reptilians or whatnot. We're gonna get into that maybe, possibly. Not because I believe in that shit and anything like that, but because someone else makes jokes about it. So let's just get into it. Let's just get plowing right through so we can get to fun stuff like maybe video games later if I have time still, because it's been pretty crazy and there's a lot to go over and a lot to show to make my case. So here we go. Blam. This is Twitter, obviously, and this you might seen on Twitter. Who is this little bunny? Who is that little bunny? Apparently they're called Pippa, Pipkin. I don't know much about them. I know like there was some talks of like her being chud coded in the past, but I did some research and I'm trying to understand why someone that was alt-right would be infatuated, because typically VTuber communities are really inclusive and they're chill, and like these types, armed man arrested in Nashville, no King's protest, had a long fascination with Nazis and VTubers apparently. Let me pull up the oh, cap lock. Don't want that. No Kings. Why are they not? News. Boom. Blam. Here we go. This guy. This guy right here. So this happened. If it wants to load.
Tonight, News Channel 5 investigates, uncovers disturbing new information about the man arrested Saturday.
So right now, Yosh, we're covering this person, Pippa, and their connection to a Nazi that was at a No Kings rally last Saturday. So here's the news. This is the news. This is where we start. It's the news. So let's get right into the news, you know?
Tonight, News Channel 5 investigates, uncovers disturbing new information about the man arrested Saturday at Nashville's No Kings protest. Good evening, I'm Jennifer Krause. It turns out that man there to protest the protest has a long fascination with Nazis and mass murders. And now we've learned that he was already on the FBI's radar. Our chief investigative reporter, Phil Williams, has spent hours digging through this man's online profile. And Phil, this doesn't sound like an ordinary counter-protester.
Yeah, far from it. I was on the ground Saturday, and protesters kept telling me about this man dressed all in black with a "Don't Tread on Me" flag and a gun on his hip. If they had known what I've since discovered, they might have been even more concerned. Saturday's No Kings protest in downtown Nashville was a peaceful event, drawing thousands and thousands of people upset with the direction of the country.
Side note, all the right-wing cope being like, they're all bought off, they're paid to be there, or no, they're AI images. There's literally like, I think there's 2,000 protests in the nation alone, and there was like worldwide protests. People don't like Trump. People just don't like Trump. They forgot after Biden for a little bit. They forgot how bad he was, and they were like, "Oh shit, yeah, this guy actually sucked real booty." People, normal people, not people in the cult, but people just don't like Trump.
The only hiccup, the arrest of a 19-year-old Murfreesboro man for disorderly conduct after a confrontation with protesters. The arrest warrant says Elijah Miller,
Of course, dude. I don't know. Does this guy look like the master? Does he look like he have like master genes? I don't know. I just don't know.
a weapon during that confrontation. According to a witness, no one was directly pointed at, but he was spitting at people. People started yelling at him, and he pulled it out and stated he had a gun. For much of that time, Miller was live streaming, declaring on X that he was going to be, quote,
We're going to get into this profile picture too in a second, but yeah, obviously a VTuber fan. Going to be streaming No Kings Protest today and counter protest these commies. Be sure to tune in. Ah, yes. People upset with the president. Communism, my favorite. Oh, why is like every right winger unhinged as shit? And we're gonna get into that even more. So like before anyone that sees this is like, oh, you just like labeling the whole right as a thing. It's like, bro, like show me a normal one, please. Like neocons still exist, but they're rare as fuck.
Counter protesting these commies.
Commies.
Commie scum! No commie scum in America, mother.
Soon he was in a sharp exchange with a No Kings protester who challenged him to show his face.
You are such a coward. Such a coward. Your mask off, you little man.
Aww. Like, I don't know. If you want to wear a mask, that's fine, but like the LARP is so hard. What the fuck?
No, I'm not.
Little dictator.
No, I'm not. Be high.
Oh, you're so scary.
So who is Elijah Miller? In 2023, a post from Murfreesboro police showed he had been reported missing by his family. At the time, he was described as autistic but highly functioning. A photo shared by a
I've seen multiple conservatives be like, "Oh, it's like the Kanye West excuse of like, oh, it's the BPD. Oh, Elon, he's just autistic. Oh, this poor little boy is just autistic." Yeah, communism is when you don't like Trump. For real, for real. Abso-fucking-totally. Yep. I agree. I'm a commie. Yosh, are you a commie?
friend shows the moment he was taken into custody in Ohio, charged with possessing a weapon while under disability.
Be fucking high, man. Oh, yeah. Be fucking high, yeah.
Yet there he was among the No Kings protesters with a semi-automatic pistol strapped to his hip. On his cap, he wore a dark Enlightenment patch linked to a theory that calls for ending democracy. His social media shows a fascination with Nazi imagery as well as mass murder.
Like, okay, so, like, if you ever been on my Twitter page, I've argued with these Nazi weirdos. Like, how are you supposed to be, like, a waifu anime lover and also, like, wouldn't that be, like, degen, you know? Wouldn't, like, how are you supposed to be, like, that's, like, Japanese, brainwashing to, like, this makes way more sense. The Japanese are pushing hentai to, make young white men less likely to go out and breed and like make the numbers of the white race gain, you know, like that makes more sense than half their fucking schizo posts, right? So how are you falling for the trap? How are you falling for the waifu trap? You're supposed to make the babies. You're supposed to go get yourself a good pretty little white wife and make the babies. What are you doing? Why are you watching VTubers? Like,
murderers. For example, a horrific mass murder in Norway that left 77 people dead, including children at a youth camp. Miller expressed admiration for the neo-Nazi who carried out the killings, calling the victims 77 race traitors.
oh my
White
goodness.
supremacist engaged in an act of terrorism.
He also expressed admiration for the killer behind a mass shooting at a grocery store in Buffalo, New York.
Like, I've posted multiple times against people like this. Yeah, they are. They're like, the way to not be this is just go touch grass. Like, literally log off and go, please. I'm trying to save your life. Go log off. Find a second space. It might be a card shop. It might be like hiking group or like a camping group or something like, just go outside. Just literally go outside, meet people, especially people that you're not used to being around. It's okay to be around different things and experience different things. It's pretty cool actually. You learn more, right? You have a more better view of what the world is like. If you're stuck in your little echo chamber on Twitter watching VTubers and hyperfixating on them, you know, and then you're listening to Nick Fuentes or whoever the hell is making you be right wing. I don't know. You're just, oh, dude. It's just sad. Like if they weren't ontologically evil, I'd like have just pure pity. It's like I pity them, and I also know that they're dangerous because like their ideology is inherently like we got to oppress the marginalized, or we need to eradicate the we need to eradicate the infidels. they're it's the same shit.
Another person said he, quote, was just trying to help the blacks get their numbers up and help them get a food desert, which made the killer a hero. Miller responded, indeed. And he was especially fond of the person who murdered 51 Muslims at Christchurch, New Zealand, seeming to imitate the shooter's style when he posted his, quote, scribbles on a new shotgun.
Okay, you might not be able to see this clearly, but I'll try my best. There's Vault. I don't speak German. There's a lot. Here we go. I don't know if you can see this, chat. I'm on full screen. I only have one screen right now, but like this is Pippa Pipkin. That's the Pipkin. That's what we're covering right now, right? This gets into Pippa because there's a lot of Pippa going on. But as you can see, there's like a bunch of German lunacy on this. You guys like my scribbles? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
This inscription, this machine kills commies. Someone responded, drop your Twitch, meaning a live stream video we will be watching.
Everyone that disagrees with it, literally the thing. He's literally doing the thing where it's like, oh, everyone that disagrees with you, you call a Nazi. He's literally calling like everyone at that protest, they're all commies. This thing kills commies. Like everything that you disagree with as a commie is a communism. Is that what that is? The projection, I guess. I don't know. I'll be watching. Need to get helmet and GoPro first.
Miller answered, need to get a helmet and GoPro first.
Communist scum, mother.
Among his other posts, Miller declared last July, no more running from me, Reapers calling my name. In December, he posted, things are about to happen.
So this is the post. Things are about to happen. We have the German book, Democracy, the God That Failed, a gun, and a blanket of Pippa. Like, I am a VTuber, and I've only covered VTuber stuff. I've only watched VTuber stuff because, like, I am a VTuber, and I kind of want to understand the community a little bit better, and who to watch out for, and who's an ally and whatnot. Who's chill and who's not. So like just recently I've tipped my toes into the VTuber community. And this person's came up in the past for having some drama, some yikes moments. And we're going to cover those yikes moments, and then I'll explain my thesis of the whole thing. But yeah, how, like, you got a different VTuber as your profile picture, which we'll get into her too. Kirsha or Kesha or whatever her name is. And then we got Pippa. And there's a similarity between these two. And there's the reason why this person enjoys these two's content specifically. specifically these two content, you know?
Fun. The photo included a handgun and the book Democracy, the God That Failed.
Like the thing that got my attention on all of this was there's this post. There's this post. Your mom and dad knows what a VTuber is thanks to the the arrest, maybe sorta, right? So like because of this situation right here, now like like normies know what VTubing is. Like boomers know what VTubing is now en masse. It's crazy.
And images posted by Miller himself showed that Murfreesboro police visited his home in April after someone in Turkey alerted them about Miller's online activity. One photo shows officers inspecting a weapon in his bedroom.
That obviously has an orange tip. That's a BB gun. That's or an airsoft. That's not. It's probably an airsoft. That's not a real gun.
Room, but he would later post an image of a gun with a right-wing manifesto saying the attention of him being busted had made him popular.
Man, I'm not gonna be violent. I'm like your people. He's mentally ill. I'm not gonna be.
I want to get okay. So that's very important. Like all these, there's countries where they don't cover or show the face of the shooters because they know that people that are not mentally well that want fame or like want to be remembered will like know like, hey, if I enact this violence, I will become a celebrity. I will be known for something and I'll become famous. So they do these things because they don't see a future. They don't feel like there's anything that they can do about their lives. They're miserable. They're losers typically. And then they're like, oh yeah, so the media will cover me and I'll be like a famous person. And this is exactly what's happening, right? Right?
Unlike your people, man.
While Miller told other protesters he had no plans to be violent, his online history suggests he's given people plenty of reason to be concerned. Now, over the weekend, I reached out to Mr. Miller through his X account, and he declined to comment. But tonight, Metro Police tell me that they have had 2 interactions with him. On April 2nd, he reported 2 firearms had been stolen. It turns out his mother had simply hidden them. The next day, officers were back at the house after getting a report from the FBI Joint Terrorism Task Force about his online activities. That time, his mother let them take a shotgun and a handgun, along with ammunition. Those are still in police custody.
Yeah, but we don't need any gun reform at all, guys. It's fine. It's fine. You can just walk into the Walmart and buy a shotgun. It's fine. It'll be fine. Everything's fine. Yep. Okay, so that's what we just watched, right? That is what we literally just watched. We just covered the news. Congratulations. So how I found this first was this post because I've started following some other VTubers on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. And this person right here, Anna V, is hated by the chud VTuber community, right? There's very few VTubers that like are good for them. Most VTubers are either apolitical, but like obviously like accepting and go for like a big net. So they're like queer positive and they're not a bigot. So like obviously you just get that just leads you into being like a open and more positive space for other people, right? So let's read what they say, and let's see my response, and let's see like the responses to my response, and let's see what's going on here, because Anna V has a bunch of haters, right? My feeling: people who blame Pipkin, I keep on saying it backwards. My dyslexia. Pipkin Pippa are completely missing the point. She's the VTuber equivalent of a shock jock. Like her, and like her or not, Damn, my dyslexia is so bad. Like her or not, what she's doing is shock jock content. I do feel the VTubering industry should take a good hard look at itself, but emphasizes on industry, right? So this isn't even like a criticism. Like this is actually a defense of Pippa. This is literally just saying like, hey, she's a shock jock. She does like edgy memes and whatnot. If you criticize her, like you're missing the point. I think the industry and the people that like run their accounts should take a good hard look at themselves and understand like what are the outcomes of having certain type of content, right? So it's like a industry pointing out. So here's the article right here. I ain't reading the article. So I respond with this base take, the simple thing of all three things can be true. Pipkin is not to blame for his actions, which I do not believe. Like you cannot be just because some crazy loser is in your fucking chat or like following you doesn't mean like doesn't mean you're to blame for their actions, right? Like that's crazy. That'd be an insane take. Things a content creator says cultivates the kind of people who watch their videos. So because of me and because of who I am and because of like the stuff that I push and say, I don't think I would get many chuds in here other than like hate watchers or like just wanting to be like, oh, you're a loser, you know, oh, you're a commie. You're a commie, you know. So the kind of audience that the kind of content you make and the kind of jokes you make and the things you say cultivate the kind of people that watch you, right? And then the kind of community a content creator cultivated reflects them, right? So like typically, if we look at bigger channels, the kind of behavior the content creator enacts, if they're like really aggro and like really edgy and they're like, yeah, fuck this person, you'll see that a lot in the community in response, and there will even be like hate raids and stuff like that, right? So all of these three things can be true. I don't think Pipka is to blame. I don't think Pipkin is to blame at all. And these two things I believe to be true. And I hope in this situation, she looks at like the people within her community and maybe understand that she might want to tone it down, or the fact that she allows people to stay within the community that have these kind of beliefs, these alt-right beliefs, will lead to like that being normalized within our community, which is you shouldn't allow like chuds to be normalized, like bad. I don't think she herself is a chud necessarily. I can't infer that from what I've seen or what I'm about to show later. But like this is the responses that I get, because you know, normal people, these people are normal. Parasocialism, like being parasocial is like wild. I try not to have some exactly, yeah. There is edgy humor on its own doesn't, but like the type of edgy humor, and if you like allow, like, because there's obviously a clear through, like you can figure out who's in your community, right? I don't think edgy humor on its own, because if I do edgy humor, but like I'm obviously like a super lefty person that's like advocating for people on like left wing stuff, right? I don't think edgy humor on its own is bad. I think the kind of edgy humor someone does, or the responses to the edgy humor, especially if you do certain kind of like Nazi humor, racist humor, right? Which I don't think the context of the joke matters is what I'm trying to say. Like, I think context matters, and the response to the joke based upon the context really shows like the character of the people that are laughing at it, right? So because people are normal, because they're definitely not parasocial and definitely touch grass, the responses to me were a little crazy. So this one on its own is just like, what the fuck? I can't tell if they're trolling or not, but the only one cultivating anyone here is the feds. The entire situation glows so hard that people on the moon can see it. So like I just like responded with like I don't know. And if you go to their thing, like obviously this is a right wing. Pride Month is canceled. Doing White Boy Summer now, with like the generally right. So obviously this person is right leaning, you know, and it's like my point up here is to say if you make a space that is comfortable for people on the right, you're gonna cultivate a right wing space because they're inherently they don't like anything that's not right, right? Like I would be okay. I would be okay if right wingers were in my chat. They just have to like follow the guidelines and rules. They can't just be saying slurs and like being crazy and like hateful in the fucking chat, right? But if you allow something like that or allow people that are like that in your chat, which I'm not saying Pipkin did. I'm not saying that's what she did. You're gonna push out the progressive people, and you're gonna only cultivate like reactionaries. So like he's literally the kind of person that I'm talking about, because I don't think Pipkin is a reactionary at all. She makes edge humors and she makes like conspiracy jokes, right? But like it's hard to tell what her actual beliefs are because it's all masked under humor. So it's kind of hard to infer. But this one really got me. But she didn't cultivate this. Capipis. I don't know. I guess that's what the fan base is called. I have no idea how to pronounce that. This makes my this word right here makes my dyslexia just like want to die. Capipis, I don't know, are not like this. This person never knew about Pippa or Kershaw until he hit peace. AV wrote. AV falsely painted Kershaw as a Nazi. Then the actual Nazi believer believes it and tries to attach themselves to her and Pippa. Right? Okay, so we just clearly saw evidence of like what they're saying is literally fresh off the table drama about Anna V. She made another article about this other VTuber that was doing white supremacist talking points, right? And that's like fresh off the post. This person was a fan of them way before that. Like, so there's just lies first off, and then if you go here, like neo-libertarian, that's literally what Elon Musk calls himself. He called himself a neo-libertarian, right? Like these people are all right wing, and they're like, no, we're not. They're not right wing. She didn't cultivate a right wing audience. It's just crazy. Oh no, do we have Nicholas? Oh, Nicholas. Oh no, Nicholas. Oh no, Nicholas. Are you sure about that, Nicholas? Nicholas, are you sure? Are you sure about that? Because I'm seeing this Pride Month is canceled. We're doing White Boy Summer now. Do you know what the milk meme was? Do you know what the OK symbol meme was? Do you know what a dog whistle is? Let's Do you know any? Are you doing the thing that I'm literally pointing out right now in my chat? Are you doing the it's not actually racist, even though like white supremacists do it? Like, are we doing that right now? Are we doing that right now? Nicholas, no, Nicholas, no. It's just a parody. It's just a little gag. And it's not Men's Mental Health Month. You're wrong. That was November. The fuck? Okay, you're right about that. It is June. Thank you for teaching me something. You see, when I don't know something, I look it up. If I don't know off the top of my head. And I think men's mental health is very important too, you know? Also, it's not a parody of that. Nicholas, it's not a parody of that. If I look up White Boy Summer, what do you think is going to come up? Nicholas? What do you think is going to come up? A lot of very inappropriate things. You should not look up anything on Twitter. That's for sure. Okay, continuing on, Nicholas. All right. So this is more like Is this not the right thing? Am I not on the right thing? Am I not? I think I fucked everything up. Nicholas, you fucked me up. With your silly goof. There we go. Here we go. Boom. So, yeah, the right wingers are like making memes about it now. You know, if you look at these people, it's like, oh wow, we're making alt-right memes and stuff. Jeez Louise, I hate Twitter so much. It's such a gooner website. I fucking hate Twitter so much. Okay. Brother, please, you're calling everyone you don't like race. Oh my god, I never said that they're racist. Are you fucking serious? When did I say that? This is what I mean. These fucking parasocial weirdos. Did I say Pippa was racist? No. Did I say the person that we were showing before from the White Boy Summer? Did I say that they were racist? No, I said they were right wing. Maybe we don't like adopt an ideology that is inherently racist, maybe. And then you won't have to defend that you're not a racist whenever people don't even say that you are a racist. Cuz I never said you were a racist. I never said these people were racist. I said they were right wing. You like, what are you talking about, dude? Nicholas, we're gonna be friends. All right, I don't even remember why I say this.
Indian! Stop! 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 Stop!
Okay, we're gonna get into the humor of Pippa. So this is why I think conservatives like Pippa so much. Alt-right people like Pippa so much because she does edgy humor and she does the shock jock thing the first person said, right? Anna V. Just like Anna V said, she does the shock jock, goofs and gaffs and like edgy humor. So let's go into some more. Let's see what other like humor. Like obviously these are out of context, but there's like the joke is like the Indian part, right? So I don't necessarily care about the context. I'm just like listening to the words being said. Even in the context, it would still just be her screaming stop being Indian, right? Which I don't think she's being racist. I think she's just literally making an edgy joke. Fucking Nicholas barking up the wrong tree.
There's a reason there are so many VTubers now. I have the government documents that indicate that the government is doing this on purpose. They're going to encourage more VTubers, so that way people don't have time to have children. This is a serious problem, people! This is a serious problem!
They're actually conspiracy to further the birth rate giving. Yep. This is also a right-wing conspiracy of like reducing the birth rate of the white babies to replace the white race. While they invade us from the border, they will reduce our babies to make it so we don't have the babies of the whites, and then we will also race mix, and then the white people will all be gone forever. Wah. So this is literally a white nationalist talking point, but it's a joke. She's making a joke. She's making a joke about VTubers, like how I did before, about how like Nicholas, come on. You got like upset. You got upset at the wrong person. Like I said, I don't think Pippa is like, I don't think Pippa is racist. I don't think Pippa is that kind of person. You silly goose. She says edgy shit that attracts racists or just people on the alt-right.
There's a reason there are so many VTubers now. I have the government documents that indicate that the government is doing this on purpose. They're going to encourage more VTubers, so that way people don't have time to have children. This is a serious problem, people! This is a serious problem!
Yeah, this is a talking point from white nationalists, from white supremacists, saying like they're trying to replace replace the home stock, and the home stock being white people, because it's a white nation and Western nations are supposed to be white, and like anyone coming in here, they don't belong. You know, it's that kind of joke. It's yeah.
There he is!
Don't make me use lethal force.
So I'm pretty sure she just said the F slur. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure she just said the F slur.
There he is!
Don't make me use lethal force.
The bird app is seething! He's literally a cop. He's literally a cop, and I just have all these jokes just flying through my brain, and I'm like, oh man. Did you see people actually getting upset over that too? I did. There are people actually upset about this. Oh god, it's hilarious. The fact that he opened up this. He's gotta know what he's doing. He had to have known what he's doing, right? Oh man, imagine his opening line was like, I'll take your breath away.
It's kind of hard to hear. It's kind of hard to hear, but she just made a George Floyd joke, right? So like, what community constantly makes George Floyd jokes? It ain't the left wing, I can tell you that. Right? So what we're seeing here is someone that's obviously willing to make edgy, racist remarks. Yep. And now I'm gonna get into this one real quick. Let me speed her up, because this is a 5-minute video and I want to speed this up. So what I'm trying to emphasize through showing all this is like, if you say this shit, they will come. And by they, I mean the alt-right. I mean conservatives. I mean white supremacists. If you say this, they will come. And I don't think she's like unaware of her audience being this way. I think it's just like, oh, I have an audience of these people, so like if I like, I'm gonna cut my bottom dollar if I like push them out, right? I'm not sure if she's like in this, It shows that she's like, racism isn't that bad. It's pretty bad, you know?
There is no fucking way in hell that anybody ever had a crush on me. There is no fucking way in hell that anybody ever had a crush on me. Okay? I was dirty, stinky, fucking no filter, has Pipkin, highly opinionated. I was insufferable. There was a hoodie string girl though. She didn't like me. God, this one girl. She would come over, right? And she would pick up the string of my hoodies. She would just pick up
dad?
what I once was, chat. But I remember back then, right? I thought that was just like, I mean, I was when I was like younger, right? But like,
Wait, here
right?
we go.
Because I remember like people would look at me, right? And they'd be like, "Oh my God, Pippa, you can't like feel like that. You can't like say things, right?" Like I'm not saying I was racist, okay? I mean, I was when I was like younger, right? But like at that point, I don't think I was. I probably was racist at that point, actually. They're like, "Pippa, you can't be like that," and I was like, "They're taking our jobs," and they were like, "Pippa, you don't even you don't even have a job, Pippa."
Pippa no harder as a class. Base. I'm not saying I was racist, but I was racist. You know, like it just like people are saying base.
I'm a much more tolerant person than I once was, chat. But I remember back.
Were you a part of the cool kids club, KKK? You know, like they're
right?
edgy
I
jokes.
thought that was just like, oh God. Chat. Okay, here's. Well, while I'm digging myself a hole, chat. Okay, when I was younger.
But this is where, literally, the Pepe frog. Like, this is a right. No one uses this other than like fucking fascists. No one uses this ugly, disgusting frog right here other than the alt-right. You know. Tolerant, gross. Oh no. See, like, a lot of these people hide behind humor. So, like, because they're fucking cowards, because they're, like, antithetical to, like, society, like, a cohesive society, they have to put a mask of jokes on. So, like, I don't know which ones are real, like, jokes and which one is, like, ignorant people or alt-right people, but, like, this is what you're cultivating, right? Like, this is, like, fucking 2 years ago, so it's been a thing for a minute now.
It was very normal, like the people around me, to say like slurs and stuff, right? So I remember when I was young, Papakin had like a dinner meeting with some people from his job, and everybody was telling jokes, and I was very young, but I'd heard these jokes from people in my family, okay? And I thought, you know what? I have a funny joke to tell. And I said, how do you stop a from drowning? And
I'm not sure if she actually I don't know if she actually says the N-word. I think they just like bleeped it out for comedic values in the video because this is an edit, obviously. And then this foot thing is so weird. But like, yeah. Yeah, left-leaning people typically don't partake. Like, there's no need to partake in this, right? Based. And you have people being like, no, stop, ah. Pippa dropped the hard R, you know? I don't know if she actually said the N-word here. I'm not that informed. But that's not the point. It's like, we're looking at our audience. She's obviously done things to cultivate an audience like this.
The entire restaurant stopped and everybody looked at me and... and then they... after that...
Why you stop racist? I love it.
They took me outside the restaurant and they said, Pippa, you gotta stop hanging around some of the members of your family if you're gonna be repeating the things they say in public, okay, Pippa? And I was like, okay. Why is it bad?
So, like, she obviously had a right-wing family. She was a country girl. She was indoctrinated with these bigoted beliefs. This person already knows the joke. Yeah. Like I would say like this, like you being like this has cultivated these kind of people following you. So it's not surprising whenever like someone's like a freaking neo-Nazi in your community, right?
And they were like, it just is, Pippa. So how do you, Pippa? People might need to save lives. Well, the way that I had heard it was you take your foot off their head, but that was very inappropriate. That was a very inappropriate thing, and I lived with that trauma and the looks on every.
Base Shack uncle. They should have had the power level talk. Are you gonna tell us punchline? Why is it bad? Why is it bad?
Everybody's faces for the rest of my life. I will never forget that moment. I will never. It was so fucking like it still keeps me up at night. I'm like, oh my god, thank.
Like I know what's going on in my chat. It's dead as fuck right now, but like she knows what's going on in her chat. She knows the kind of audience she has.
God, fucking like camera phones were like a thing at that point. Holy shit. On the topic of saying inappropriate things, do you guys ever have like family members and stuff where they're okay with some slurs and then not okay with other ones, and they're just sitting there like, in hindsight, you're just like,
more Pepe Frog. Peppa being based.
what the fuck? Or like, oh my god, I have members in my family where they'll be like, that's so fucked up what they're doing to them people. That's so, oh my god, we should be preaching love and tolerance. And then in the next breath, they'll go on a racist tangent about some other group, and you're just sitting there like, okay.
Oh. This is the other person we're going to be talking about in a second, probably. Oh no. Oh no. Ah, man. Okay, so I've cultivated like a list of like we have a list of videos, but we're just gonna skim through them because like,
is he a white supremacist?
That's it. Wonderful. Your pure skin just wonderfully fades out into the highlights of the wheat behind you.
Yeah, thanks. Could you talk about something
He
about your
is?
skin? It's like a dermatology fever dream.
Sorry, Nicole. When something catches my eye, I just can't let it go. The curse of being a photographer.
Okay, so what's this thing on my shirt again?
so like this game is like,
everyone's kind of against us as white people.
this game is literally about white supremacists. So obviously if you fucking play shit like that, I get the meme, but you should like constantly emphasize like fuck white supremacy while you play this. Like, right? You should like emphasize if you're just gonna sit there and like be like, if you're literally just gonna sit there and be like, whoa, that ain't right. That ain't right. There we go. That ain't right either. What in the world? What's going on? Technical difficulties. I'm floating. Why am I floating? No. What's going on? I've died. No. I tried to use a hotkey to change my expression and the whole stream dies. What the frick? There we go. Now I'm back. Does it work now? Am I gonna die again? Nope. Yep. Don't do that. Nope. No if you're just gonna be like, Well, sitting there, obviously you're not doing a good job. You're not doing a good job.
Desperate for social acceptance.
I guess there's that.
Right?
So let me ask this. Now that you're in this club, do girls talk to you now?
No.
Not really. But the guys,
True.
they always talk to me now.
Like for fun, to socialize, or to give you pride party orders?
Is that a Walgreens shirt? That's what I was saying.
Well, the orders are fun, so kind of both.
And I'm doing fun. Are you trying to get half of your chat banned tonight? No, I'm not.
I wonder why half the chat would be banned tonight. Why would half your chat be banned? Can you please explain that to me?
Half of your chat banned tonight? No, I'm not. See how racist he'd be with female attention?
Why, like, obviously she knows. She knows she's cultivated an audience like this. So, like, all the lunatics that were on Twitter that were like, oh, she didn't cultivate this. This was a Fed operation. You know, like, get out of here. And, like, this person in my chat, like, get out of here. We all know. Like, you can't gaslight me. You can't gaslight me. I'm too fucking... I got 2 brain cells, but they're running on max power, and I see what's going on, right?
Pippa, today, you are the judge and the jury. Today, you will decide the fate of my chatters. Okay. You are my hired volunteer moderator, and so we're going to begin. All right, Pippa, this guy might be familiar to you. He says, feet pick from Fillion. Show your feet! Pick! He was taken out by the government. So, what do you think?
I think Jen Girlio is just a girl and shouldn't be persecuted for girly things.
I'm gonna...
What do you think we should do here?
About the feed pics?
Yeah,
like
this
save
person.
them all into like a Google Drive and make sure
What?
you tag them with person's names and screenshot the proof that they posted them.
Bro, what? Why would you do that?
For future blackmail.
Didn't you leak your own feed pics?
Don't worry about that.
Didn't think Pippa liked black males.
What?
What are your chatters typing?
What?
What are your chatters typing?
Why do you assume it's my chatters, alright?
Because when I'm streaming, I don't get comments like that. They're just like, Fillion, touch your toes. Touch your toes. That's all I get.
Because you're not inclusive.
I'm not inclusive? Bro,
You're not
why
enough.
do we need to specify that you like black males?
So yeah, it's obvious to Fillion, whoever Fillion is, right? The other VTuber Fillion, it's obvious to her that there's a big difference when Pippa's on stream and her audience is around. There's a lot different. There's a big difference. I wonder, what is this? Who are we being inclusive to? Who are we including in our community? Right?
I am very happy to have black males in my community.
Okay, how many do you have?
All right.
I got like 3, minimum. Minimum.
One
One
of-
of
one of
on
my mods?
Fansly.
One of my top guys.
Oh, one of your mods? How do you know that?
Yeah, because he says it. He says, you have the pass now, Pippa. I'm giving it to you. And I say, I don't think it works like that.
What if he's just like a trailer trash white dude in Arkansas?
That would be pretty funny. I can't lie.
Yeah, what if he was in Oklahoma and he was playing World of Warcraft on a poop bucket?
And white? Or like what?
Yes, obviously. Yes, of course.
Oh, okay. Well, he should not be on a poop bucket. That'd be very bad. But it'd still be a very funny situation.
So, but he'd be lying to you. And so when you went on a bridge, you'd get PewDiePied.
Yeah.
So
I
be
would.
careful what's under there.
I wouldn't even have the pass.
Be careful.
Yeah. Immediately after being like, oh, racism joke, makes another racism joke because the chatter made a racism joke, right? She's cultivating these kind of people, right? And I think if we look at this being real for a moment video, I think this is why I'm saying, like, I don't think she is necessarily a bigot herself. I think she just, like, is a free speech extremist, and, like, her version of free speech is allowing people that are bigoted within our community and, like, making edgy jokes, and, like, she hasn't learned the iDubbbz. She hasn't learned what iDubbbz learned. I guess what I'm trying to say, because, like, if you're being inclusive to bigots will push out the other people of your community, because, like, no one feels comfortable around someone that's, like, advocating for their oppression, right? No one feels comfortable whenever you are, like, wanting to watch someone and the chatters are, like, full of chuds. You push out actual oh my god. This is such a shit fire. Why are two people watching me? Why are you watching me right now? What the fuck's wrong with you people? You destroy actual inclusivity by allowing bigots within your community. Because like those bigots in the community is going to make the marginalized or like the non-bigoted uncomfortable, right? And it's not a both-way street, because the marginalized and the non-bigoted isn't advocating to remove the bigoted people's rights. I want every bigot on the planet to have like free healthcare. I want every bigot in the planet to be able to live the kind of life that they want. If they want like a white picket fence and like a family of kids and whatnot, like I want them to be able to have that. And I understand it's like the oppressive systems within our society that makes it so they can't have that. So I target that, right? I don't want them to have like a fucking whites only neighborhood, because then you're oppressing others. Like, oh, I'm oppressed because I have to associate with people I don't like. It's like, we live on a planet, get over it, you know? But yeah, if you allow bigots and you're inclusive to bigots, you're not gonna have a good time with other people in the chat. And we can clearly see this. But this is a reason I don't think Pippa herself is like a bigot. I don't think Pippa is racist. I don't think Pippa is herself a chud. I think she just is like, she has like the same problem with Filthy Frank and iDubbbz back in the day. She's like that same kind of humor, that kind of same level, you know? And I never thought they were bigots either.
What did Jeffrey deserve then? Well, you don't really... I feel like you don't deserve anything in life, you know? I feel like I have a very like cynical point of view on the world, where it's like human beings are, at the end of the day, extremely disposable, right? Or expendable. I don't think people are owed anything. I don't think we're owed life or liberty or happiness. I think these are things that you have to fight for if you want them, because expecting them to be given to you is just narcissism. There's so many people that...
I don't believe that's narcissism. I'm going to like push back against what she says here a little bit, but like also just listen to what she says, because it kind of gives you a clear line of like, she herself probably isn't a bigot, but she's okay with the freedom of speech to be a bigot, which like it's the tolerance paradox is what we're gonna get into. Yeah, it's not narcissistic to say that every individual should not be oppressed by the system. It's not narcissistic to... What exactly did she say?
Narcissism. There's so many people that don't have these things given to them, that they do have to fight for them. And for you to go, well, but I'm owed these things, but I deserve to have these things. Well, everyone should have these things. Well, in an ideal world, everyone would have everything that they need and be happy. But at the end of the day, you know, like if you got hit by a car, you'd be dead. And that'd be...
Yeah, but at the same time, like, if you're not advocating for those things, how can we like get closer to an ideal world? If you're silent about those things, how would you possibly ever be able to get into an ideal world, right? Like, if you just let the people that exacerbate or run the oppressive systems to be in charge and only have those voices, and you call the people talking against them narcissists, how are you supposed to get to a better place in the world? I don't think we can make a utopia, but I think we can absolutely do something better than what we're doing now. Especially right now, because we're going back to the horrific time of the 19th century.
The end of it. At the end of the day, there's thousands of people dying every single day that you'll never hear about, you'll never know about, who didn't have the resources that you have, or maybe had more, and you'll never know, because realistically, like, all you can see is your own world, right? All you can see is the world that's around you, and that world is the same for everybody. don't know if that makes any sense. The world just is the way it is, and it's never going to be kind to you. Sometimes other people will be kind to you, but at the end of the day, the world isn't going to be.
But we can do things to push for a more kind world. We have governments. They make policies that can help people out. This isn't like a nature thing. We have like a man-made system in place that is oppressing people. It's not like we're freaking in the Stone Age beating people with rocks for water sources or anything like that. We live in a freaking society. And we should advocate to make that society better and work for the majority of people. Not only within the nation, a single nation, but like all around the world. Because we can do that. It is possible. And if you don't think it is possible, then you should be quiet and allow people to try to figure it out. Because all you're going to do is get in the way of the possibility of everything being a little bit better, if not a lot better. Right? Like this is, like I thought I was supposed to be the doomer, right? I think I'm supposed to be the doomer. What's going on?
You're just as expendable as everybody else, and so you have to take charge of your future. You have to grasp the things that you want. Because maybe you'll get lucky and somebody will give you those things, but the world just is the way it is. So you might as well just do it yourself rather than hoping and believing in other people. No, like, it's not like I don't want it to be like pessimistic of like, oh, well, don't ever believe in other people, don't trust in people. You don't deserve anything. You have to be on that Sigma grind set. I don't think it's that extreme, right? I think it's just like you have to ensure your own survival. You know, you can't. If you hope other people will take care of you, you're placing your life in their hands. But your life,
which that's all true, but at the same time, you can understand that and advocate for a better world. It's not, they're not antithetical to each other. You can understand, like, under the current system we have, or like any system, at the end of the day, all you got is you. You can't necessarily rely on people. It's a blessing to have people to rely on that are decent to you, right? And you should cherish those people. And you should, like, try to be there for them too, in the way that they, and like, be there for other people. Be the change you want to see in the world, at least. But like, it's not antithetical. You can advocate for a better world while also understanding, like fuck, shit. Like at the end of the day, like all you got is you. All you got is you. But like, it could be better for everyone. The systems aren't individuals. The systems in play are not individuals.
is not in their hands. Your life is in the hands of the world, and the world is filled with all of these people and all these circumstances and all of these laws that drive everything. So take care of yourself. You know? Do your best. Just take for yourself and don't take anything for granted.
No.
I don't think you have to just take for yourself. I don't blame people that do, right? I get a lot of shit when I'm like,
This is gonna get into why I think she herself isn't a bigot. I think she's just doomer pilled. I think she's just apathetic as hell. I don't think Pippa's a bigot. I think she's just apathetic as hell, and she doesn't understand like the nuances of these things necessarily, or she has a wrong perception of like the nuances of these things. 'Cause yeah, if you act like that, no one should ever be there for you. They should just like if you just take for yourself, like you're not going to have anyone there for you. If you live by the life of like, I'm going to live for me and I'm going to take for me and live for me and fuck everyone else, and I'm going to use people to gain what I want. Like you're not going to have decent companionship or like a community. You're going to be hyper individualist, and the majority of people can't survive like that. We're a social species living in a society. We have to rely on each other to make things better for each other, you know? And like the fact that she's about to go into like, I don't blame them for that, and like I don't, we'll rewind just a second and listen through.
Have to just take for yourself. I don't blame people that do, right? I get a lot of shit when I'm like, oh yeah, no, like I think people that are on that like hustle grind set, people that are like unapologetically like capitalist are based. People get upset about that. People are like, but Pippa, they're like hurting people. They're like Pippa, they're like spreading misinformation, or Pippa, they're being mean to other content creators. Like, I don't think you should be mean or whatever, but also like it all feels so inconsequential.
But it's not inconsequential. The capitalists doing the capitalist grind set are the ones that are like fucking everyone over. It's not consequential, depending on who we're looking at. It's not inconsequential for that individual's life and the people that surround them. And if enough people are like that, if enough people subscribe to that behavior, then it's consequential for the majority of people, because everyone will have to face and deal with that kind of thing. And everyone has to deal with that because we live in a society, we live in a system where like that's the modus operandi, you know? So you should give a shit and you should say, no, this is bad. It doesn't work for the majority of people. But when you have a hierarchy where more people have to be on the bottom to allow a few on the top to have everything, yeah, you have a pyramid. It doesn't work out for the majority of people, and that's not fair. We can flatten that curve more. The curve, I don't think, will ever be completely flat. And I don't necessarily want it to be completely flat. But like we can do things to make it better for more people. And to say like, oh, I think they're being based, like, that's just you feeding within that system, you know?
Life is hard, so if somebody can survive off of like making videos where they talk about how you should eat nothing but liver and the women are stupid, I don't care. Like, more power to you. Is it good? Is it a good thing to do? No. Should I probably care? I guess. But it's like, whatever. You know? It's like, whatever. It's not worth it most of the time. It's not. It's not. People...
That right there. That right there is what made me realize, like, I don't think she's a bigot. I think she just doesn't care, and she sees, like, oh, all these alt-right content creators. Like, does she have, like, a intersectionality understanding, or, like, does she have these kind of frameworks to be able to understand the outcomes of, like, what happens if these people, like all the woman haters get platformed and they're seen as like based and red pilled and the correct thing? There is an outcome to these things. It's not inconsequential. And that's why I think she's just like a doomer. She's an actual doomer at heart, you know? I'm not a doomer. The joke is like, don't be a doomer. The shy doomer, I think we're fucked because people are like this. People are like Pippa. I think we're fucked because people are like Pippa, or people are like actual bigots, right? And you can't change people, but you can like you can give them the tools to maybe want to change themselves.
I'll be like, Pippa, but these content creators are making videos complaining about these other content creators and they're this or they're that. It's like, just don't fucking look at them. Look at them. Who cares? Let them get their bag. Doesn't matter. I care about everything, especially if it's not directly affecting you. Yeah. I'm gonna keep buying my phones made with slave labor because I don't care. I don't have enough energy. Would I change it if I could? Yes. If you were like, Pippa, I'm giving you the power to stop phones from being made with slavery, I'd be like, okay, yeah. No more phones made with slavery.
So, if you want to see the change and you think it's a good thing to do the change, you're literally saying like, I am willing to ignore injustice, which only benefits the unjust. If you watch someone drowning another person and you do nothing at all to save them, you only help the person drowning the other person. You know, you only help the person drowning someone. This is like simple psychology or philosophy. Not philosophy. This is just simple philosophy. So like, if you understand, like, I understand, like, it's tiring. I understand Pippa and me especially, I have zero power. I have one person watching me right now. Pippa, on the other hand, Miss Pippa here has like hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people that know about her. So she actually has a decent platform. She can advocate and push towards the left. And it's not going to be like, oh, one person's going to save the day. But she could be a piece in the whole movement to make better change in the future. If she understands like this is bad and it should change, the more people that advocates what she thinks is bad, the more likely people, the parasocial freaks, like in my in my DMs and in the side chat right here, the more likely those people might change their mind. And she's about to get into that.
Saying this as if I know for a fact phones are made with slavery. I feel like they were at one point. Maybe they're not anymore. I don't know. There's still like t-shirts that Walmart sells made in horrible conditions. So whatever they are, okay. But I don't think me being like, I'm not gonna buy a phone anymore. That's not gonna help. That's not gonna fucking help. People get mad. People are like, Pippa, what do you mean boycotts don't work? Of course boycotts work. It's like, no, boycotts 99% of the time do not work. They don't. I'm
Yeah, because it's the system itself. You have to tackle the root of the problem. You can't just cut off the serpent's, the chimera's head. It'll just grow another head, whatever, you know. You have to tackle the problem itself. So you on your platform advocating like the systems at play is inherently harmful to the majority of people, like takes their lives as like nothing and treats them like nothing to make a few people on top wealthy, which I know she's a conspiracy head. I know she does like the lizard jokes, and I know she does like the government doesn't care about you, or like capitalism doesn't care about you, whatnot. Like if you understand that part, the next part is understanding like how to effectively target the problem and change the problem. And you go for the source, right? Like this is why I don't think she's a bigot. I just think she has to wake up a little bit. I think she just needs to wake up a little bit more on the like words do have meaning. What kind of audience you have does affect people's perception of you, and your perception of like it shows like what you think is okay, you know? I don't think she's a bigot, which is really funny because Nicholas came in here defending and fighting ghosts because they're parasocial weirdos, and these parasocial weirdos will either be like, "Oh, I can't believe you became woke," and run away, and then you won't have to deal with them anymore, or you might be like, they might be like, "Damn, you're the person that got me into this. Your audience responding to this, like, led me down the pipeline. And maybe I'm wrong, you know?"
happy for you that you can place such faith in that system, but come on, they don't work. They work if everyone does it. They work if everyone does it. And very rarely, very rarely, sometimes boycotts will work. But most people, yeah, they can't be bothered. It's mostly performative. It's mostly performative. And I get tired of that. People are like, Pippa, you're too okay with this, or Pippa, you're being too complacent about that, and blah blah blah. And it's like, I just don't care. And I feel like
to like, and this is another, like, I don't think I think she just is, because of her right-wing upbringing, I think she's just like doesn't have the full tools, you know. She understands racism is bad. She understands like bigotry is bad. She seems to be more accepting of people, even based on LGBTQ and whatnot. She just wants to be edgy, which I think edgy is fine, but you have to be able to do it in a way that's not just going to be like, oh, the joke is racism, you know? You like, you can be edgy punching up instead of punching down. I don't think she's a bigot. Like, someone in chat, do you think she's a bigot? Am I wrong about this? Is she racist? I don't think she is. I think she just has a bunch of racists that follow her. Just like how Filthy Frank or like iDubbbz had a bunch of racists that followed them. And then iDubbbz realized like, oh shit, Like what I say actually matters, and like I'm cultivating like this horrible group of people within my community that I don't want to be part of my community, you know?
Like, most of the people who you think care also don't care. They are just being performative. You know, as a society, we value so much people who are on 24/7, acting like they're fighting for something. And I just don't think they are. I don't think they are. I don't think they care that much. I don't think Andrew Tate cares that much. I don't think—
And this is absolute projection right here. Like, she doesn't get— she knows, like, what's good and bad, but she feels like she can't do anything about it, so she thinks, like, everyone else doesn't care. This is, like 100% doomer projection right here. Like, because I don't know if she'll believe me or not, but, like, I fucking care. I wouldn't be coming on— I wouldn't be making these stream if I didn't care. I care about, like, getting my point of view across. I actually do care. I want Pippa to not be, like, surrounded by chuds. And I want Pippa to, like, have a decent life. And, like, everyone on the planet have, like, a better baseline standards of life, you know? I think certain things are, should be seen as, like, rights, you know? Like, if the state exists, it should exist to make sure the populace within the state is living a comfortable life. Because, like, what's the point of, like, defending it? What's the point of, like, if it's not working for the majority of the citizens, why the hell would you ever defend it? If it's, like, actively oppressive, if it's actively, like, keeping people down, if it's exploiting them, like, why would you defend it? It's insane. You have, like, Stockholm syndrome or whatever it's called. So, like, I do care. And you can even care in, like, in a selfish way. Like, if you're like, man, I don't want to be in abject poverty. I don't want to be, like, homeless. I don't want to face racism or homophobia. Or you can do it, like, in, like, a— you don't even have to be, like, empathetic. You can do it in a selfish way. And through that selfish way, you can be like, I don't want this to happen to me, so, like, I'm going to advocate for it not to happen to people in general, because, like, then it won't happen to me, right? You don't even have to be, like, a decent— you don't have to be, like, an empathetic person to come to these conclusions either.
I think the pussification of video games guy cares that much. I don't think the fucking— did I already say Andrew Tate? I don't think J.K. Rowling— I don't think these people actually care. Usually they have opinions that they say because they make more money off of it. And it's all.
And this is another reason I think this is, like, she knows what kind of audience she's cultivated, so she knows what she has to do to keep that kind of audience around, right? She just said it, like, I don't think Andrew Tate cares. I don't think J.K. Rowling cares. They do care. People do care. There are obviously grifters out there, but, like, this is the whole— it's just a joke, homie. Like, if you're advocating for certain things, obviously you might, like, ham it up or go extreme for like, views or clicks, but, like, J.K. Rowling's bottom dollar, like, has been hurt because of this. Andrew Tate is a laughingstock now to most people. And, like, the internet makes people have the perception of these people are super famous and loved and whatnot. And then, like, you go outside and you touch grass and you ask people around and they're like, yeah, I don't really care. I don't really care about her. I don't really care about it. I think, oh, that like, weirdo that was sex trafficking people. Oh, you mean the person that's, like, going schizo about trans people, you know? I don't know. They obviously do care. But, like, I don't necessarily think it's just to make money, you know?
This is the way to pay the bills. And I don't want to be like that. I don't want to fucking waste my time.
Andrew Tate and J.K. Rowling already could pay the bills. This is a passion project for them. This is a passion project for them. And there's, like, a lot of because right-wingers love hearing what they already believe repeated to themselves. everyone does, but like right wingers have the money and influence because they're backed by capital, because they're defending the system that we're in right now. So like obviously the people with the money are going to chip in for those kind of people, right? There's the capital to back them up. So like there can be grifters, but the ones you labeled, except for one of them, were already millionaires. It wasn't about making more, like, I guess to make more money, but like J.K. Rowling, no. She's lost money. She's lost deals because of this.
Fine like that. I don't fault them for it. I don't think it's a bad thing. I think in a weird way it's kind of admirable to give people something that they believe in and to be so in character all the time like that. I can see
To be in character all the time like that. I think she's projecting again. I don't know. Like, I think it matters what you make the people believe in. Like, what the heck? If you stray the sheep down the wrong path and they all get eaten by wolves, I don't think that was a good thing, right? Right-wing ideology leads to horrible outcomes, like beliefs and whatnot. Like, you're not giving them the tools to actually make their lives better. You're giving them a distraction while their lives get worse, right? Oh, it's not actually the system that's the problem. It's the brown people coming in, or oh, it's the queer people having rights, or oh, it's women having rights. That's the problem. It's not the people hoarding all the wealth and resources at the top. It's your neighbor. Like, it's not admirable. You're like leading people down a path that will just like increase the harm. And I think she's just a apathetic doomer. I don't think she's a racist because of this.
sort of beauty in it. You know? You can get down to the, but Pippa, Andrew Tate was human trafficking women. It's like, fucking no shit, that's bad. Come on. But I get why people like it. And in like a weird way, I'm happy people can like that. I'm happy people can find something that gives their lives meaning. Because it's really hard to find meaning. It's really hard to find things to be happy about. It's hard to find things to care about in life. Random guy, thank you. I really love these long Pippa rants that go on after every one of these endings. These are filter streams. These are filter streams in a weird way, because a lot of people click onto them to watch the game and they listen to this and they're like, oh fuck. Pippa's got the most dog shit opinions in the world. Pippa, stop tangenting. Pippa, move on. We're circling.
But then I hear something like that and I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe she is trying to cultivate a right-wing audience because it's a filter stream and she's saying a lot of right-wing talking points and defending a lot of right-wing figures. So you're trying, and this was uploaded 8 months ago, so it's obviously a recent thing, right? So like, are you trying to filter out like people that don't have dog shit opinions, aka people that are more left-wing, because what you're saying is like in defense of specifically. Notice when she brought this up, she didn't bring any like. She didn't bring up any left-wing person. She brought up a bunch of chuds. Right-wing influencers. Like, I don't know. It's this just feels like a pseudo-intellectual rant. Like, bro, like nothing really matters, but like, whatever, bro. Nothing really matters. Anyone can see that nothing really matters to me. It just feels like a pseudo-intellectual rant spiced with some defense of like right-wingers. It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell. The other person I'm gonna go over though, it's not hard to tell. Let me see if her videos are here. Okay. Whoop. I think I'm gonna end it with that. Like,
back to separate the art from the artist. Yeah, in a fucked up kind of way, I think it is kind of an art. Here's my batshit insane taste.
Yeah, I think we're gonna end it with that because I think the point has been across. Like, she obviously has cultivated a alt-right audience, and it's due to her edgy humor and it's her spicy takes and her pseudo-intellectual baloney that she just did. And I think she's an apathetic doomer, and I don't think I don't know. This is obviously just like viewing her from just through this, but like I'm attacking the character Pippa, not like the person behind the VTuber. I don't know the person behind the VTuber. No one does, except for like people that know her in real life or behind the scenes, right? So I'm attacking the character Pippa right here. And I think the character Pippa has an alt-right follow base because of how they conduct themselves and the things that they say. If we want to refresh her to make that clear, here's
Pippa, I'm gonna get some water real quick. You can talk to chat for a second. Chat, don't get me banned. And then we're gonna go have you be a volunteer mod for the day, alright?
Alright.
Peanut.
So, chat. You like saying slurs? She's gone now. You're free to say whatever you'd like. I love that you can hear everything in the background. Let's ban Fillion? Slash ban. I can't ban Fillion from our own chat. I can try. It doesn't work. I can announce something. What does that do? Announcement. Okay. What else can I do? Chat, teach me about this new power I've obtained. Ooh, announcement blue. Oh no.
Whoa! What are you trying to do?
Don't worry about it.
Message deleted. What are you
Welcome
doing?
back.
Pippa, today.
yeah. So she makes edgy jokes. She's chud coded at least. I don't know if she's actually a chud, but she's cultivated chud onions. And having the Minnesota person being a shooter, a fan. Oh, not Minnesota shooter. It's a different shooter. Am I going the wrong way? I'm going the wrong way. I'm going the wrong way. This is all for the Minnesota shooter. Woo! Da 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 da. Like, this isn't surprising, you know? After seeing everything, this isn't surprising anymore. This really is not surprising. So yeah. I think I'm gonna end this segment with that one. What is the other VTuber's name? I think it's like Kirsha or Kesha or something like that. Like, obviously the fans overlap because before I saw, like, so many people are like, oh, Anna V is trying to cancel Pippa just like she tried to cancel Kirsha, which is a different VTuber, which the VTuber like literally just says white supremacist talking points. And dang, look at all these segments I have that I had set up, but like I didn't stream. So, oh, here we go. This is the other VTuber. This right here. Kirsha. Oh, they changed their oh my gosh, that's so cute. It's so cute but ugly at the same time. Yeah, but like, yeah, as you see, like they're talking about Anna V here because this person, Kirsha, whatever her name is, she's also chud.
Dead, Jim. I'm not even gay though. Oh, me neither. I was just kidding.
Face dead, Jim.
I'm not even gay though. Oh, me neither. I'm just kidding. I am.
Me too.
That's fucking funny. You guys are cool, man. I want to adopt you guys as my little brothers. Oh, dude. How old are you? 19? I'm 15.
Almost.
No way. Oh my gosh, dude. Oh my gosh. It's okay though.
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
15, but if you're 15, yeah. I thought you guys were like 19, 20.
No, I wish.
How old are you? You're like
I'm 13.
13. Oh my gosh.
Can we?
How old are you?
I can't tell if they're lying or not.
Oh, awesome. So these are kids.
Can we get your number?
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe we
I'll
could
be like your uncle.
No, but like let's like hang out. Yeah, we're trying to do
Yeah.
something. We're trying to do something.
I'll find out. Like
What the
I'll
fuck is
find,
happening?
I'll find some
Have you ever had
another
three-way?
15-year-old for you guys or 6. Okay.
Here we go. I think this is the right one. This guy's weird. Obviously, don't ask for minors' numbers. Like, what the fuck? But then her rhetoric is like labeling the entire community.
Let's go talk. Wait. Let's go.
Is this what TikTok streamers are like? What the fuck am I witnessing?
Alright, sorry, but it is gay pride though.
It is gay pride. It's fine. They were watching live grooming. What is happening?
Yeah. So like she's chud coded as well. Let's see.
Meow. Oh, that guy's kind of cute. This guy over here, he's kind of cute. I hope he's not one of the protesters. I hope he's not gay. Look, he's cute. He's gay now. Shut up, chat. Meow. Oh, that guy's kind of cute.
Yeah. Like it's pretty obvious that she had a pinned tweet up here that was like her dressed up as a Nazi at one point. But yeah, she like reposts this kind of stuff. She's chud coded.
Manya.
But I really like it's so obvious to anyone that's not like a white supremacist that she's done white supremacy. Like she literally said like I'm not gonna try to find it, but like these communities are overlapping for a reason, and it's because they're both chud coded at heart. I guess I don't like the stuff that they share. I don't know. Like Kirsha, she's done like the white replacement theory several times. She's done like Western superiority talking points. She's very much in lockstep with the Roach King, Asmongold, you know. So the Pippa community and her community lining up is not surprising to me, you know. The next topic. We're going to the next topic now. Let's go into the next topic. After all that chud VTuber talk, let's talk about something nice and happy and fun, because there's so much good things happening in the world right now, right? This is all sarcasm. This is really bad. This is really shitty. The right wingers are going crazy. They're trying to deny that their people like killing their political opponents, and they will continuously lie about it. It's pretty freaking weird, you know. For example, this was the Minnesota shooter. Someone in Minnesota, this man right here, shot and killed a Democratic representative and their husband. Not good. Not good at all. Let me set everything up and we'll get into that in a second. Why are my cap locks on? Why are you doing that? Doody-doody-doo. It just like, it's really sad because I don't know, with the whole Pippa and Kirsha thing, like obviously they get like a right-wing follower base, but at the same time, I'd rather have no company than bad company, unless you like actually believe in this stuff. Which for Pippa it's questionable. Kirsha, I don't know, it might be a grift, maybe it's real. I don't know. A lot of people, like Asmongold, it's obvious that it's grift. Like it's just freaking apparent. But yeah, let's get into this. Here we go.
We have been listening to and watching federal authorities in Minneapolis, Minnesota, discussing charges against this man, Vance Belter. He is accused of killing Minnesota State Representative and former House Speaker Melissa Hortman and her husband over the weekend. Police also say that Belter shot and injured State Senator Mark Hoffman and his wife. We heard the acting U.S. attorney in Minnesota say this was a political assassination. We also heard just now, they repeated it, that this person, they say, went to the homes of at least 4 elected officials. Let me bring in NBC News correspondent Shaq Brewster, who's been watching all of this and covering it. Shaq, that headline that he went to not just 2 homes, but 4 homes is news.
Yeah, you heard federal authorities there explain that this is something that, in their words, nightmares are made out of, that these are chilling details that we're learning. And we learned a lot in that press conference as they detailed why they were charging him with these 6 federal charges that include stalking using interstate facilities, murder of the Hortmans, and shooting of the Hoffmans. Now, we learned there that he went to 4 different homes. The official there said he stalked his victims like prey. He stopped at those 4 houses with the intent to kill. He started at the home of the Hoffmans. The officials there say that it was their daughter that ultimately called and presumably saved their lives. And that's what started this chain of investigations, where we know that authorities say the suspect went to 2 other homes of lawmakers. At one point encountered a police officer who was responding, who tried to talk to the suspect, authorities say, and essentially didn't make contact, and then ultimately kept going. And that's when this all ended at the home of the Hortmans, who were killed after a shootout between the suspect and police that were arriving there on scene to essentially do a wellness check. So this was a really chilling details and a chilling account that we learned from authorities. They did say that the suspect is now in federal custody. We can expect to see him in court at 2:30 Eastern time. This is when we can presumably hear a little bit more, and also they will make the case to a judge to keep him detained as this investigation, really prosecution, goes forward. And I think another key thing that's important to really tie down, because this was the source of so much misinformation over the course of the weekend, but you heard officials really clarifying the notes, the idea that he had some manifesto. They said no, the why of this, why he acted in this way is not clear at this point, but that through a search of his vehicle, a search of his home, they recovered extensive notes that they say were taken over the course of years, and that, or excuse me, months, and included numerous names of state elected officials, federal elected officials, and even some abortion rights activists. So they're saying that there's no real sense of why he did this, or why he took these steps, but that's definitely a focus of the investigation.
And this is why the liberal media sucks. It's pretty obvious why he did it. It's pretty obvious why he did it. And we'll get into that, but like, if you're repeating what the state authorities say, sure, fine, but like, at the same time, it's pretty obvious, and we'll get into it.
And clearly the chilling details that they just explained to us in that account that they gave, it really sends shivers up your spines when you know how much planning went into this, according to those federal authorities, Kate.
Yeah, Shaq, they said many, many notebooks, dozens and dozens of names, over hundreds of pages. It does make you wonder if he had plans beyond the state of Minnesota, potentially. Shaq, just one last question. The initial court appearance for those federal charges is coming up, as you said. Do we expect to see that, or what are the plans?
Usually we'll not see it. I know we have reporters who are in Minnesota that are likely going to be in the courtroom, so we'll get notes from that. So we don't know exactly if that, I should say, we don't expect that to be on camera, but we'll expect to get a readout of what exactly happens after that. Now, we did hear from state authorities. Remember, he was already facing state charges, including second-degree murder, and then today we learned that the state prosecutors were going to be charging him with first-degree murder. If you talk about the distinctions here, the biggest sentence, the biggest possible sentence with these federal charges is the death penalty. In Minnesota, the highest penalty would be life in prison without the possibility of parole. So these are going to be two different tracks that we see him on. He is now in federal custody, so that will be the source or the reason for the court appearance later today. But this is a suspect who is facing some very serious charges. He is facing, like I said, the death penalty at the federal level, but we can expect to see a long criminal process ahead as this investigation and prosecution continues.
All right, I think we get the point. All right, I think we get the point. So Minnesota shooter, no bueno, no bueno. Let's see if there's like any reason why he might have. Let's hear what he says himself. Let's see. So he targeted Democratic politicians. I wonder if what's going on.
And I'm just as excited about Jesus.
Et je suis juste excité
right
de
here,
Jésus.
right now.
Jusqu'à présent, même maintenant.
This is the Minnesota shooter being a nutter Christian nationalist on stage. That's what this is titled. This is the shooter.
And when I get excited,
Et quand je suis excité,
I want to dance.
je veux danser.
And what Jesus did for me.
Ce que Jésus a fait pour moi. Jésus est Dieu.
Almighty God.
C'est le Dieu
He
puissant.
saved my life.
Il a sauvé ma vie.
I'm excited about God.
Je suis excité de Dieu.
And I want to worship Him.
Et c'est pourquoi je l'adore.
Because He's coming again. And
Jésus
he's
il revient encore.
And He's got plans. He's
Il
got
a
plans
de plans
and purposes
et le dessein
for each one of you
pour chacun de vous ici
and for me.
et pour moi aussi.
And
He got plans, eh? He's coming. Jesus is coming. I feel him coming. All right, here's some more of him on the same kind of stage, different incident.
God is going to raise up apostles and prophets in America.
Oh, I guess this is the plan. This is his plan. This is the plan that was alluded to before. What's the plan?
God is going to raise up apostles and prophets in America.
Le Seigneur va relever des pasteurs et des prophètes aux États-Unis
to correct His church.
Pour corriger son église.
And those that are connected to the body.
Et ceux qui sont connectés au corps.
They will come through this mess.
Et ils vont quitter de cette confusion.
And they will be strong again. God is going to raise up apostles and prophets.
So literally advocating for a theocracy. Yeah. Do not come, Yosh. Do not come. Do not come. So yeah, it's kind of obvious. Let's see what. So okay, Christians can be liberals and Democrats too, but let's see. I don't know. I've been hearing some right wingers, and we'll get into that in a second. I've been hearing some right wingers try to say like this person is a Democrat. This is his roommate. This is the shooter's roommate, his best friend. Let's see what his roommate have to say about this. Let's see if he was a liberal Democrat.
Can you talk about his politics a little bit? I know that you had some discussions. I just wanted to
Well, everyone's calling him a Democrat. He's not a Democrat. he would be offended if people called him a Democrat. So, but he, because of this board thing he was on for Governor Walz, it wasn't to serve. He was just serving the community. But he, you know, I can't believe a political issue would cause him to do such things.
Did he ever bring up the senator or the representative who were targeted?
Like I was saying, no, he never talked about that. I didn't know those people. I didn't recognize their names.
Any politicians he mentioned?
Well, he mentioned Nancy Pelosi. Didn't like Jim Walz.
Tim Walz?
Didn't like Jim Biden. But
Tim Walz? What would you say about him?
well, I mean, nothing. I mean, it's just normal. Well, I don't like this that Tim Walz did this. I don't like that he did that.
Did he mention the protests that were planned for
He
yesterday?
never mentioned the protest.
What did
What
he
do
think
you
of
make
Trump?
of everything that's happened here and the fact
Maybe
that
I
you like,
mentioned it to him, but I don't think he mentioned anything about
What would you tell him?
it. I would tell him to surrender himself so he could be taken alive, because he's like my best friend, so I don't want him to be killed. I don't want him to kill anyone else, you know? So I think if I saw him, I could talk him down, but you know, I don't know where he is.
And did he listen to any particular podcasts or TV shows or anything online that concerns you?
Well, you listen to InfoWars, but I kind of said, well, it's like 50% truth. You know, I kind of said, don't take everything what they say for granted. I wasn't a real truthful. I mean, they're on for some things, but some things are way off on.
Did he talk much about Trump? And what did he say, if so?
I was a Trump supporter. Voted for Trump. If you like Trump, I like Trump. And,
Can you talk about his politics a little?
Yeah, it's gonna. I don't know. Guys, I don't think this guy's a Democrat. I don't think this guy's a Democrat. I don't think he's a Democrat. This is a video of Vance Boker. The Minnesota shooter has been released to assist law enforcement. If you see him, call 911. I don't know. I don't think this is... I don't think this is true. I don't think this is true, but like let's see what this I saved the video at least for a reason, right? Let's remind myself.
Hello, my name is Vance Belter. I just go by Vance. No other names that I use. I live in Grinnell, Minnesota, about an hour away from the Minneapolis-St. Paul area. I'm affiliated with 2 funeral homes. I work full-time for Wolf Funeral Home, which is an intake location for about 6 funeral homes. And we also do all the intake for the National Cremation Society and the Neptune Society for all their cremation customers as well. So I mainly do removals at this point. So I work at Wolf full time, and then I also work for another funeral home called Metro First Call, and they also do traditional removals at nursing homes, assisted living apartments, but they also have contracts with medical examiner's office. So like one contract is the Hennepin County Medical Examiner's Office, so we'll do removals, which
Okay, so this is just him talking about himself front to back, I guess. But like, yeah, right here, here's a sneak peek. Check Tim Walz's house. I wonder what that means. What's going on there? Why are people saying check Tim Walz's house? The leftist absurd explanation for these flyers found in Minnesota shooter's car is the guy needed them to remove himself where he was going to shoot people. What? Without the flyers, he'd be like, man, I meant to kill some people at a rally. but I just can't remember which one. What? So these flyers were allegedly found in his car, and the right-wingers have been using this to push, like, the narrative that, like, conservatives, not even, like, lawmakers, people on, like, in the news, like Fox News even, have been trying to push the narrative, like, he was actually a Democrat, and they're using these flyers that were allegedly in his car to make that excuse. Minnesota shooter identified. Looks like liberals are taking out their own if they dissent.
The suspect.
So, like, this is a very through line. The guy is obviously a right winger. The guy, there was another video of him in church that I had, and it just is like so obvious. It was so obvious that he was. Here, let me not destroy your eyeballs while I look for it. There was just so much going on that I was trying to, like, bookmark everything that was happening this weekend. Like, of Iran, freaking protests, the parade, everything. Oh, here we go. I think we're getting close to it. Or maybe not. Maybe, nope. We're not getting close to it. Maybe I lost that one. Maybe I was a liar. Maybe I'm a schizo. Maybe I just made it up. Yeah, okay. So we have Laura Loomer here. Has a single Republican come forward to denounce the politically motivated deadly shootings of lawmakers in Minnesota? Lauren Loomer. It was carried out by your No Kings radical left rioters, you dumb Democrat. So they're literally, they like it when we get shot. They want us dead. These people see us as an obstacle. Right-wingers see Democrats not as, like, neighbors, not as citizens. They see us as an obstacle to gain power and gain the outcome that they want, right? Their ideology is ontologically evil. Like, none of they have no policies that will actually benefit the working class. They have no policies that will actually benefit any category of people, including white people. They have no policies that are, like, beneficial to anyone except for, like, the people on top of the system, because they believe in hierarchy, and they believe in, like, if you're on top, you deserve that, and it's just hierarchy. And we need to go back to a more socially conservative place where people have less rights, and the hierarchy is even more exasperated, you know? They worship freaking Trump as a king, practically. So, like, let's see what Lauren Loomer says. Like, are we gonna maybe she's right, but, like, let's see what kind of person Lauren Loomer is. This is Tim Pool. This is Laura Loomer on Tim Pool.
Should Democrats be in jail? No question. When Donald Trump gets elected, should he start locking them up? No question. Should there be lists of Democrats that need to go to jail? 100%. And the reason for that is they've committed crimes. We need to make sure that when Donald Trump wins, we've got an attorney general, a deputy attorney general, a head of the CIA and the FBI. Kash Patel would be fantastic. We can have attorney general. There's some names floating around. And then they can start having their investigators and the feds issuing subpoenas, pulling up evidence, and with real evidence, bring them to judges for warrants. Then these people can spend three years of their lives fighting tooth and nail for the crime against the government for crimes they committed, and we can prove.
Before Lauren Loomer chimes in, if anyone commits a crime, Democrat, Republican, yeah, I want them to go to jail. If you commit a crime, go to jail. You're in power. If you abuse that power, go to jail. Go to jail right now. Go to jail. I don't care. So, like, but this kind of grandstanding and baloney coming from him is, where's the evidence? You're saying that they did commit crimes. So point out the crimes. Where's the evidence of the crimes? But you won't get that. And this rhetoric is just to radicalize people to see their opposition as like a villain, as the other, to make it so like your opposition actually is like not even seen as human. Is like it's cartoonishly like, hey, they're the bad guy, they're the baddies. Anything that we do to the baddies is justified in our desire to gain more power. But like, let's Lauren Loomer, Miss it was carried out by your no kings radical left rioters, you dumb bigot Democrat. I'm sorry, she's a bigot. But let's see what Lauren Loomer has to say to all that.
And the reason why we put them on trial is that we can show the whole world we will uncover what you've done. We will make sure everyone knows, and you will be held accountable for it.
Not just jail, they should get the death penalty. You know, we actually used to have the punishment for treason in this country.
Should Democrats be in...
And then the stream ended because they had to end it. And they put down the stream. Like, before you go on this tirade, I feel like going on this tirade would be justified if this entire segment beforehand was showing evidence of, like, crimes that would, like, hold up in court, right? And then you go in this tirade. I think then that would be justified. And you target, like, the specific people that committed crimes, but just alluding to Democrats committing crimes, alluding to Democrats being criminals. We're not going to say any specific one because our audience gets to fill in the blank. And then Laura Loomer chiming in and being like, yeah, we should kill him. Are we gonna believe something like that? Because they like it when we're dead. She's cheering on like, yeah, we should kill him.
Get the death penalty. You know, we actually used to have the punishment for treason in this country.
What's treason? Who treason? Who's the treason? What's the treason? You get to fill in the blanks. She knows what she means. The audience gets to fill in the blanks because the audience has like several different conspiracies, several different belief systems, multiple things that all lead to the same thing. So they get to fill in the blank of who's the treasoner, who's a treason, who did the treason, and who's the baddie, who's the criminal, right? So yeah, we have just that little simple, stupid, and like how are you gonna be? How are you? Like I'll go full screen real quick before we get away from this video. How are you gonna be like anti-trans when you had so much gender affirming care done to yourself? Hypocrite much? You don't look. People don't look like this naturally. It's okay to get plastic surgery if you want to like express yourself. I'm down for that, but like the inconsistency when these people's freaking ideology is insane. Right? All right. There were a ton of people there. I'm pretty sure. Is this about the shooter?
Everybody calm down, have fun. There was a ton of people there. That was another left-wing lie.
Yeah.
Right? They were focused on bleachers that were right next to where we were sitting.
I love the way the president handled it because, Congressman, he put out a tweet. He writes, a huge thank you to all the No Kings protesters.
This is a fake tweet. This is actually just made up. This is a fake truther or fake tweet that was made as a meme from like a MAGA follower. He never said this. Oh yeah, the Democrats, they just lie. And then they share fake news on Fox News. You know, this is even more going into like, these people are detached from reality. They don't care about the truth. They just care about power and money and money and power and money and power and harming the people that they can scapegoat to gain more money and power. They just want you dead. If they could kill 1,000 people to gain an extra buck, they will do it. They don't care. They're ontologically evil. They're a freaking death cult. These people are insane. And I want a better world for them. I want freaking healthcare for everyone. I want people to not be fucking homeless. I want people not to starve to death all around the world, not just in the nation, right? And it's like it's so annoying to deal with like these ontological evil freaks that are willing to just lie about everything and everyone to gain just a cent or like to gain a minuscule of power or fame. Well, like, there are people that actually give a shit, that actually have solutions, and they get laughed off by the people that believe these liars, right? They fall for this. Hook, line, and sinker. Fell for it again.
Yesterday, I was very concerned a king was trying to take my place, but thanks to your tireless efforts, I am still your president. Great job, all. President had fun with that. Congressman, it's a pleasure
They needed that.
to see you, and we so appreciate.
Yeah. It wasn't true. I don't know what AI. Okay. So we're going back to the shooter. These people just believe in anything, right? So what is this person posting? The shooter of the two Minnesota lawmakers, which killed one of them and her husband, has been identified as Vance, who was once appointed by Governor Tim Walz in Minnesota. Tim Walz did say his friends with school shooters during the debates. Remember? These people would rather spin like a crazy conspiracy than just look at the through line. Hey, we have people on the right saying we should arrest the Democrats are evil. There's like conspiracies about Democrats eating babies and that they're a pedophile cult and like the Trumper. It's the whole QAnon thing. You don't find this on the left. The left is like the CIA overtops governments so we can like put in a puppet state, and then they admit it, and then that's our conspiracy and then the fucking government admits it. Like that's our conspiracy. These people are like, oh, there's actually like a secret cabal of people, and this guy's a paid sleeper cell to kill the own constituents. Like, why would you kill your own constituent? Like, what is going on here?
The police have released the name of the suspect of the alleged shooter that's connected to the two lawmakers in Minnesota that were shot this morning. And check this out. He's connected to Governor Tim Walz. Tim Walz once appointed this man to the workplace development in Minnesota. The man's name is Vance Luther Bolter, this man right here. And this makes me think, remember when Tim Walz said this during the presidential debates? Watch.
I've become friends with school shooters. I've seen it. Look, the NRA.
Tim Walz with the Fraudians.
Yeah. Human school shooter survivors in that. Because they were talking about like gun reform. And he was like, I don't want to take away your guns. I just want to make sure there's laws that make it so people that are not mentally well get guns. And he meant school shooter survivors in that. If you watch the full context, if you don't watch like a clip out, these people have to like clip out reality. They make their own freaking version of reality. And like, then they say like, oh, we're the delusional ones. We need to connect to reality. What's another conspiracy from these chuds?
I'm so shocked. The suspect in the Minnesota shootings. Who saw this coming? A card-carrying liberal.
He's literally been registered Democrat. I mean, registered Republican. He's not a registered Democrat. He's a registered Republican. You can find the papers. They're out there. His. We just watched his him talk about like how he's a Trump supporter and he would be upset. Here, let's watch another segment about that.
We even asked about Mr. Bolter's political affiliations, and David Carlson, once again his roommate and best friend, known him since 4th grade, did say Bolter voted for Trump and that he was a strong supporter. And we even asked about...
to obfuscate the fact that they have people that are willing to commit violence like this. Yeah, it's context erosion. I gotta leave out the context evidence. Yeah, true. To obfuscate the fact that they have their rhetoric leads to violence inherently, in that they are actually okay with this kind of stuff. They have to they don't care. They don't care if the person killed a Democrat. They like it when we die. They don't want us around. Us not being around means we're not in the way anymore. And leftist liberals in the way, they're like a dog chasing a car. And they don't, like, all their policies are ass. Like, with Roe v. Wade, they had to, like, lie about it. They had to be like, oh, no, we're not going to overturn Roe v. Wade. And then the Republicans were all like, you're crazy. Trump wouldn't overturn Roe v. Wade. And then guess what happened? When Roe v. Wade was overturned, then it was just like, yeah, it should be states' rights. They completely and utterly changed their freaking modus operandi because they don't believe in anything other than making the liberals upset, which is just making lives worse for more people. You know? They don't believe in anything other than power and money. And their followers are stupid enough to fall for the trap of, like, the lies and the misinformation.
This morning, the shooter is charged with 4 counts of second-degree murder. Our understanding is that here in Minnesota, in order to get that first-degree murder charge, the case has to go before a grand jury. That has not yet happened, but we're being told that the shooter likely will be charged with first-degree murder.
All right,
Bill,
Matt Finn,
Dana.
live there in Minnesota. Thank you for that. We got more now with Dana.
And let's bring in Trey Gowdy, host of Sunday Night in America. What do you think?
I'm not a phrenology believer, but if there was someone that was a villain, if there was someone that's a villain, I hope this doesn't, like, completely crash the screen and you can see what's going on still. But yeah.
About that in terms of the charges against this suspect?
Well, the difference between first and second degree murder in Minnesota is premeditation. And Dana, you can live 50 years and not see more premeditation than you have in this case. So they're going to charge just enough to keep him in custody, no bond, and then the grand jury is definitely going to charge him with murder in the first degree. What's important is you can get life without parole. The other thing to look out for, though, is there a federal nexus? The feds still have the death penalty. Minnesota does not. I heard from a Republican lawmaker last night whose name was on his list. So it may be terrorism on both sides. This was a Republican lawmaker. He killed a Democrat, tried to kill another Democrat. I would look out for federal charges, so he could be eligible for the death penalty.
Okay,
This morning, the shooter is charged with counts of second-degree murder. See, I don't support the death penalty. I don't think the state should have the right to kill people. I would rather this person sit in jail and rot or be go through, because, like, it's all about justice, right? And there's no justice in, like, just the state killing this person, right? It's even the people that are loved ones, they don't get anything out of it. There's no justice in just murdering, like, the state murdering someone or killing someone. And I'd rather them just have to think about what they did for the rest of their lives and deal with that than have to be killed. And I'm being consistent about that. Like, even if Trump was found in a court of law as a treasonous, like, sex offender, Epstein liker person, I wouldn't want him to be killed either. I want him to sit in a cell and have to deal with it for the rest of his life. I think that's better than the state having the opportunity to kill people, because, like, there's plenty of people that are found that are found guilty, but then later on, after they've been killed, more evidence comes up and they're like, oh snap, we killed the wrong person. I don't think the state, if you allow the state to kill people, then they can falsify things to kill people. I don't like that. It's bad. It's bad. This is freaking right-wing terrorists we're talking about. Antithetical to me. And I still have empathy to the point of like, this guy was conditioned by right-wing media, by probably right-wing family members, indoctrinated into this belief, obviously not mentally well because of it. Like if you're screaming on the top of your lungs like, oh, Jesus is coming, he's coming, you know, like I don't think he's gonna bring in the end times and everyone's gonna be either tortured and killed or sent to heaven, you know, like I like that's a death cultist, you know. I have empathy. I feel bad for this guy. What did he do is wrong? Absolutely, yes. And he should face repercussions and punishments for it, right? There should be some sort of justice involved. But, like, to allow the state to kill him, I don't see that being just at all. Minnesota shooter identified. Looks like liberals are taking out their own if they dissent. So this is the whole like conspiracy narrative that they're pushing is like liberals are like it was an inside job from liberals.
I'm so shocked. The suspect in the Minnesota shootings. Who saw this coming? A card-carrying liberal, Vance Luther Bolter. Oh, and this guy was appointed by Governor Tim Walz to the Governor's Workforce Development Board in 2019. Governor Tim Walz calls it a political hit.
Do you think this guy's happy? Does this look like a happy man to you? Does this look like a stable, happy individual to you? I can't answer that because I don't know them. But to you, I'm not sure. Like, how does this, like, being giddy about it? Like, even in his lies, he's fucking giddy about it. Oh my gosh, the liberals are killing each other. Oh, buddy. Whoa, dude. The liberals are taking each other out. Oh my God. Oh, yeah, buddy. I love this shit. You know, like, come on, bro. Come on. At least play it up. At least pretend you have some empathy for the dead. God damn. Who would have ever guessed it? The evil cabal of sex pest pedophiles are killing each other when they can disagree. Whoa. Like fucking A, bro.
Any thoughts on political violence and/or the political rhetoric in this country? You know what happened in Minnesota recently, but of course your family is familiar with threats and political threats.
Listen, my father's been shot at. I've been tried to,
Shot at by a Republican, by a previous Trump supporter.
The other side has tried jailing me. They talk a lot about.
What crimes did you commit? Did you go to jail? No. Did you commit a crime? Maybe. I don't know. Did you have due process? I don't know. You tried to jail Biden's son. All the like pro-gunners. We love our guns. Freedom of guns. Like then they like immediately were like, oh, it was an unregistered gun and we need law and order. And like any other case, like people would have been like, this is fucking crazy, right? Because it was attached to Biden, it's insane. Like if he did the thing that was a crime, yeah, go deal the time. All right. Same thing with this guy. I don't give a shit about like Joe Biden or his son or anything like that. And if he committed a crime, he should go to jail too. They all should go to jail. They're all criminals in my book.
The rhetoric and the violence, and yet it seems to be mostly caused by them.
I'm going to take a page out of Tim Pool. You see this guy? I'm against him, so obviously he's a criminal. Obviously, right? That's a Tim Pool logic. These Democrats are criminals, and yeah, we should have the death penalty. Lauren Loomer chimes in. Yeah, I'm not like that. If there's evidence of crime, you should have due process, and if you're found guilty, go to jail. Simple as.
The 2020 summer of love did not seem like a summer of love. The politicians at high-level places encouraging people to attack my father did not seem fair. If Republicans were doing that, they'd be thrown in jail. When a
Democrats are actually being thrown in jail right now as he was saying this stuff. Multiple Democrats have been imprisoned by not only police officers, but ICE. You are in power right now. These people are in power all throughout. They have the Supreme Court, they have the presidency, and they have Congress. And it's pretty close in the Senate. They are in full power, and they're still playing victim as they arrest people that they disagree with. As Trump is like, hey, we should go against we should lock him up. What's the one mayor of not mayor but governor of California? He was like, oh, we should yeah, I think we should send him to jail. Like, are you serious right now?
Democrat does it, it's to preserve democracy. You
don't think everybody's got to tune it down a little bit or turn it down a little bit?
Listen, I think what we have to actually do, I would love to see all of that turned down, but I think I'm seeing it come from the left. Everyone talks about Minnesota, but they don't talk.
Who said lock her up? In 2016, who said lock her up, lock her up, lock her up? Who's increased the rhetoric? The divisiveness. Who said on the campaign trail of 2020, the enemy within? Who, before they even were president, claimed the president of the United States was not a citizen? Who did that? Like the victim complex on these ghouls is fucking insane, dude. It's insane.
About the guy seems to be a leftist. It's a Minnesota.
Seems to be a leftist. So even the president's son is pushing the shooter was actually a leftist, guys. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Minnesota politician, or guy who was appointed by the Democrat governor, vice presidential candidate for the Democrat Party.
Using the same rhetoric. So these people, these little nobodies with like 800s, this is where they're getting it from. This is where they're getting it from.
Party, Tim Walz. The guy that committed those atrocities this weekend is a Democrat that worked for Tim Walz, that had the flyers about the No Kings thing in there.
Now, I'm not sure about that, by the way, from what I've seen. I think he voted for your dad and things like that, from what I've seen.
I'll believe that when I see it. But he was appointed by Tim Walz as a Democrat governor who is, an ardent leftist pushing these.
You mean the ardent leftist that's constantly saying like, hey, we should talk across the aisle. We should communicate with the people that we disagree with and come to a equal conclusion. You mean that guy? You mean the guy that's like willing to work with the people that disagree with him? I dislike it because you're like doing that whenever you're dealing with these ghouls only benefits these ghouls because they will never kowtow to you, and giving them an inch, they'll take a freaking mile. It's something that I disagree with Tim Walz about. That guy wouldn't like hire someone just because like they wouldn't hire someone because they like had different beliefs? Are you sure about that? Like, what the context? No context, just narrative, just a freaking story to spin, to point blame at the victims, at the people being targeted. They're making lock them up. They're trying to kill me. They're coming after me in the courtroom. And it's a freaking damn shame that Trump is gonna die without facing any consequences for his actions whatsoever. Because we live in a country, we live in a freaking system all around the world where white-collar crime does not give you any time. You pay a fine. And when you have so much money, like, it's fucking nothing. It means nothing. It's insane.
Things, and he attacked someone who voted against, he attacked a Democrat who voted against giving taxpayer funding and free health care to illegals across America. I mean, that doesn't seem like that should be a controversial thing to vote against, but if you're a Democrat that breaks away from the Democrats, they'll commit violence amongst themselves.
It's pushing the narrative. Oh, we're not doing it. And he's smiling while doing it. You might not see it. He's freaking, he knows what he's doing.
Commit violence amongst themselves, it seems. And so that is scary. That should upset a lot of people. But, you know, watching the framing that this is, you know, some sort of MAGA person, you know, it's just so predictable at this point. It's such nonsense.
Should you have any
Rewriting reality, because reality has a left-wing bias. It's so sad. It's so sad to see. And see another person going on a schizo rant, making shit up.
Assassin who shot multiple Democratic lawmakers this morning has been confirmed to be a strong Trump supporter who voted for Donald Trump, as well as a registered Republican. I want you to make sure you share this video because these right-wingers have been spreading heinous lies about this.
Grok, is there proof that Vance Bolter is a Republican who voted for Trump? Interesting. No definitive proof exists in the...
Your evidence is a freaking AI. This is insane. This is why, like, AI is melting people's freaking minds. Right? It's so crazy. These people are crazy. Libs of TikTok. They're refusing to release the Minnesota school shooters manifesto. I wonder why. Because there was no manifesto. There was just a bunch of documents. It was like a... It's like, why won't they release the manifesto? Why are they not releasing the manifesto? Oh man. That ain't right. Why is my PC stuck in all caps mode? Why are they not releasing the manifesto? Release the manifesto. This is the manifesto. It's the Charlie meme. The manifesto is the Charlie meme. There's like a bunch of different writings all over the place. It's not like he wrote something before he enacted it. He like wrote multiple months worth of stuff. Oh god, that's the horrible Charlie meme. Yikes. That's a classic Charlie meme. Who's Carol? Who's Carol? You know? This is the Charlie meme. Like, that's the manifesto. How are they supposed... They're still doing the investigation. They probably haven't even, like, scanned half of the stuff. They have it, like, on paperback. How is it supposed to... I was just delivered pizza. Oh my god, it's so good. Homemade pizza. Yay. I love you. Okay, getting back to it. So, yeah, I wonder why. It's because there was no manifesto. They've repeatedly came out. This is the video that I've been waiting. Yes, we finally found it. Let's see. This is him. This is him right here. This is the last thing we'll cover. We've seen people try to claim, libs of TikTok, try to claim that there was no, like, oh, the vice president even was trying to claim, like, oh, he's actually a Democrat that was buddies with a Democrat. This is a 2-minute video. It gives me some time to eat some pizza. Let's see how much of a progressive Democrat this guy was. Let's see.
No sin. Il n'y a aucun péché that God can't take care of. Dieu ne peut pas enlever. Nothing. Il n'y a rien. There's people, especially in America. Il y a des gens, particulièrement aux États-Unis. They don't know what sex they are. They don't.
Transphobia. Classic liberal Democrat position, right? Yeah. Classic. Definitely a Democrat, right?
They don't know how their sexual orientation. They're confused. Ils ne savent pas ce qu'ils sont exactement. Ils ont une confusion. The enemy has gotten so far into their mind and their soul. Et l'ennemi est entré dans le fond de leur pensée et de leur âme. But this word, mais cette parole, cuts deeper. Va aux profondeurs. Because it's living. Parce qu'elle est vivante. And it's active. Et elle est agissante. And God goes down there and pulls that out. Et elle peut entrer dans notre cœur et enlever tout ce qui est de mal. And he sets every person free. Et pouvoir nous libérer. There shouldn't be one person in this room. Il doit y avoir quelqu'un dans cette salle that leaves tonight qui est en train de vivre le péché. With a sin or a problem you're dealing with in your heart and soul. Peut-être que tu as un problème qui est vraiment dans ton cœur qui te fait souffrir. Because Jesus has the answer. Parce que Jésus-Christ a la réponse. But he may ask a question. Mais il va te poser une question. The Holy Spirit may come to you. Le Saint-Esprit peut venir vers toi. He may come to a man. Il peut venir vers un homme. And say, who's that woman? Et puis il va demander, qui es-tu? Or he may come to a woman. Il peut venir à une femme. And say, who's that man? Il peut demander à la femme, qui est cet homme? Il demande à l'homme, qui est cette femme? He already knows. Dieu connaît déjà. Or he may say, where are you? Il peut te demander, où es-tu?
What the fuck is he
And when
yapping about?
God asks a question, mais quand Dieu pose cette question, we need to answer. Nous avons besoin de répondre. And if I'm that man that's doing something with a woman, même si c'est que tu as fait avec un homme ou une femme, and the word of God comes to me, la parole de Dieu vient vers moi, I can be like Cain, je ne peux pas être comme Caïn, and say, I don't know, I don't know. Et dire au Seigneur, je ne sais pas, je ne sais pas. But then that's what I get. That's what I deserve if I don't acknowledge God. Si je ne reconnais pas Dieu, c'est ce que je mérite. But God doesn't ask the question. Mais Dieu est en train de lui poser une question. Because he wants to hurt our feelings.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure this is definitely a progressive, right? Let's just hear the first half of that real quick. That's a progressive, right?
No sin. Et il n'y a aucun péché that God can't take care of. Dieu ne peut pas enlever. Nothing. Il n'y a rien. There's people, especially in America. Il y a des gens, particulièrement aux États-Unis. They don't know what sex they are.
Yeah, definitely a progressive, guys, right? He's Yep. I really do believe. I really do believe that's a progressive we're looking at. Good job. Actually, the right wingers were right all along. Transphobic nonsense. Rhetoric. Yeah. That's the one that I wanted to show that I've lost. Yep. In conclusion, I would say, like, right wingers are liars. And they want you dead. And they'll cheer you on your death. At least the people in charge. A lot of them. We got Lauren Loomer. We have all the ones in top saying like, oh, no. Oh, it was a leftist. It was left on left crime. It was a Democrat. It wasn't us. We promise. I don't know if the audience ever had pickle pizza before. You should absolutely have pickle pizza. It's the bee's knees. Pickle pizza's based. Trying to find the one last thing. Where's the screenshot that was deleted by the House rep? Or like a senator. Oh, here we go. Registered Republican, voted for Trump, evangelical preacher, private secretary, contractor. Hit list included Tim Walz himself. Wow, Tim Walz? No, you don't understand. Ooh, you see this person? You're a dumbass. You see, this person knows the truth. Tim Walz actually had him write. Tim Walz paid him to kill the opposition within his own party, right? And the opposition within, like, he had him write in his, like, month-long manifestos about Tim Walz in it to get the trail off of Tim Walz. That's the truth. They're trying to lie to you. They don't want you to know the truth. Yep. Tim Walz paid this individual to kill the traitors within the Democrats. And he had his name put in the manifesto or in the writings to get the trail off of him. These people are evil. They're demons. Yeah, they're like, come on. Like, the response is, why did Tim Walz appoint such a heinous MAGA? That was like years ago that he was appointed. What year does it say? Effective 2019. Are you serious right now? This is Mike Lee. Nightmare on Wall Street. Mocking what happened. This is a, I'm pretty sure congressperson? We can look it up real quick. I want to be correct on who you are. He's a senator. Mike Lee. Mike Lee, the senator. Nightmare on Wall Street. Making jokes about people dying. You know? This is a senator. This is what happens when Marxists don't get their way. They want you dead. They hate you. They don't see you as people. If you are not a MAGA supporter, if you're not bending the knees and sucking the boots of the capitalist elite, they want you fucking dead. They don't want you. They ain't like us. That's what they say about us. They say they ain't like us. And they're actually evil. I don't have to lie about them being bad. I just have to point out their ideology and the things that they advocate for and, like, the behaviors inherently. I don't have to lie about them to make them look evil. These people fucking have to lie to make their opposition look evil because they are the baddies. They are the baddies. Conservatism historically has always been the baddies. There's never been a single time where conservatism was like the goodies. Segregation. The people be spitting and throwing shit at a little black girl trying to attend school. Those were conservatives. Removal of the end of slavery. The South was the fucking conservatives. Even the party, the Democratic Party, was the conservatives of the time. There was a political swap around when FDR took charge. But yeah, they were the conservatives. Historically, the Nazis, conservatives. Historically, they've always been the baddies. Always been the baddies. You are subscribing to the baddies ideology. You are subscribing to the people that will always have been and always will be seen as the baddies. You know? The fact that, like, based Mike Lee. Let's see what other things Mike Lee posts to see how based he is. Let's see, based Mike Lee. Is it time to revisit mail-in voting? FBI gives Congress intel on alleged Chinese plot to create fake mail-in balance. It's all conspiracy brain rot. The Supreme Court upholds the Tennessee ban on gender-affirming care for transgender minors and a huge setback for transgender rights. What about the rights of children to avoid inappropriate, irreparable medical harm? Remember my LGBTQ? Remember the LGBTQ stream where the document that Republicans made literally, I think it was Tennessee. Let's see. Shut up. Oops. Study operated by it was Utah. Yep. Study operated by Utah Republicans find gender affirming care benefits trans youth. Their own study. Their own study. Their own studies. They did a huge meta-analysis of this. Their own studies. They ignore it because they don't care about reality. They don't care about truth. They just care about stomping out degeneracy, gaining more power, making more, like, scapegoats so they aren't seen as the actual enemy of, like, the working class. The people that are actually, like, making things harder and worse for people. They don't care. They want you dead. They don't give a shit about you. So, yeah, Minnesota, what are the rights of irreparable harm? Ooh, looks like there is none. It looks like there's, even in your own studies, buckaroo, there is none. Children, don't get surgeries. By the age of, like, 16, sometimes early as 13, you're allowed to go on hormone replacement, and before that, you're allowed to go on hormone blockers. But hormone blockers are used for other things. They're fine. Who's dead, buried, and forgotten? They want us dead, buried, and forgotten. Yep. Not just trans people, but all LGBTQ people, all immigrants. There's like a saying from Nazi Germany that was like, first they came for the communists and I said nothing because I was not a communist. Then they came for the socialists and I said nothing because I wasn't a socialist. Then they came for yada 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 yada. In this case, it's first they came for the immigrants and I said nothing because I'm not an immigrant. Then they came for the Muslims and I said nothing because I was not a Muslim. And then they came for the trans people and I said nothing because I was not a trans person. Right? Then they came for the women, and I said nothing because I was not a woman. And then they came for yada, 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 yada. They don't have anything. I would love for anybody that watches this video this far into the... I know I've been streaming for freaking 3 hours now, but I would love for anybody to, like, come and show me how I'm wrong. How these people... No kidding, I can't even comprehend how this is even a thing. How trans people existing is a thing? And how they were once a child? Who would have ever guessed? Like, this is something that I haven't said on stream yet, but, like, I'm trans. And before I even knew what trans was, and when I was a Christian, I would pray to God every night saying, like, please let me wake up in a body. Either take these wicked thoughts out of my head of being uncomfortable in my flesh and wanting to be a woman, or take those thoughts away, or let me wake up in a body that I'm comfortable in. And I was like 7 doing that. And I didn't feel comfortable coming out to my family because, like, they were not good people to come out to. All the signs were there. Like, I got made fun of all the time for being gay. And I'm like, yeah, but later on I found out that I was gay, but in the other way, right? According to my identity, I'm gay, right? Because women are pretty and whatnot. But, yeah, no, trans people exist, and guess what? They were a child at one point. So obviously trans people, like trans children exist. And my only thing that I advocate for is for those people to be able to take the steps to make themselves feel comfortable. And like our medical guidelines right now, they're like hoops and bounds. You can't just go to the freaking you can't go to the corner store and just be like, "Hey doc, I want you to chop my tits off," as like a 12-year-old, you know, or like give me a bottom surgery, doc, you know? There's so many hoops and things you have to jump through, even as an adult, let alone as a child. Like if the parent doesn't agree with it, it's never going to happen. So at the end of the day, it's up to the parent to even like be accepting of their child for who they are. And like going through the steps at first. And then it's like a consistent, and like the therapy behind it is not like, "Oh, you're trans, yes, you are a woman and you're a pretty woman and yay, your identity is valid." It's, "Are you sure about this? Are you sure about this? Are you sure about this? Are you sure that you're trans? Are you sure that you're trans? Are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure?" Trying to make it so to make sure it's a consistent and persistent thing, right? Yeah, you have to get your parents' permission. I think that's what you were going to say. But, like, you have to make sure it's a consistent and persistent thing through a mental health expert. And then you can go to a doctor and take certain tests to make sure the hormone blockers are even safe. And then they go on hormone blockers. And throughout that whole time, they still go to the therapy all the time, and it's still, "Are you sure about this? Are 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 you sure? Is this making you actually happy? Are you feeling more comfortable in your skin? Are you more happy right now?" But before all of that, like, just the first step of gender affirming care before any medical treatment is just like, okay, allow your child to dress the way that they want to dress. So let's say Samantha wants to be Tristan, and Tristan wants to wear some boy clothes and get a short haircut. Ooh, scary. That's the first step. Ooh, the end of civilization. Ooh, so scary, so abusive. They want to call empathy and acceptance of difference within people like abuse. They want to call like love abuse, and it's fucking sickening. My God. My goodness. My goddess. let me find something to watch real quick so I can nom on some pizza. Something chill. We're having a typical streamer moment where like, oh, I talked about this earlier. Let's cover this, I guess. We're going back. We're going back because this might be a prelude to the next segment that I do on stream, but like if not, I might go through the whole thing. The first segment I was doing was about Peppa, which is a VTuber with a chud problem in her audience. And this person is actually like full like, yeah, I have these beliefs, you know. Peppa is kind of like, I don't know, maybe, at least her audience is chud coded. I'm not sure about her. She says spicy stuff, but I'm not sure about her. She seems pretty accepting of others and not chud coded and just says yikesy spicy. iDubbbz and Filthy Frank humor, I'm not sure, you know. But this person is actually a bigot. Like, Like straight up does white nationalist talking points, white replacement theory talking points. So I ain't the right one. There we go.
This person says, Gamergate never ended. We just call it drama now. Yeah. Yeah, trying to financially ruin a cartoon fox woman is just drama, by the way.
That's something I would agree with. I think labeling everything as drama is pretty stupid. I think labeling, like, hey, this person's pushing white nationalist talking points and white supremacist talking points. Ooh, canceling her. It's just canceling and it's just drama. I think that's pretty fucking stupid. There should be social repercussions for being a bigot. Because you're antithetical to a cohesive society. Your beliefs don't go well with a civil society because your beliefs are not civil on their own. So yeah, you should be bullied out of civil society if you're a piece of shit bigot. I hope she sees this. Say right to your face. I don't care. Debate me.
Is this really the first thing I want to post after vanishing for almost 2 months trying to put my life back together? No, obviously not. No, I think you did want to write about this because you guys are terrified of losing the stranglehold of power you have on the entirety of society to ruin people who disagree with you.
Hey, dumb bitch. Who's in political power in this country right now? Hey, idiot. Hey, fucking moron. Who's in political power? Is it the Democrats? Is it the progressives? No. You weren't like this before it became more socially acceptable on Twitter and other things. Are you just like following a grift like Asmongold? Or were you hiding your power level and now you're showing it? Because you know you can get away with it more because we're like going down fascism. And you want that fascist bucks. Hey, dumb bitch. Stop acting like the victim when your party has all the power, you stupid idiot. Fuck this person.
I don't want to write about the threats, abuse, and harassment a journalist is facing. The cartoon fox woman reads after having to flee her apartment building for a bunker of safety after contacting her police.
Doxing is bad. Don't be a bigot and people won't dox you. Don't be a white supremacist piece of shit. Transphobic white supremacist piece of shit. And they won't dox you. Simple as. Don't dox people, that's bad, but there's consequences for your behavior. Stop playing the victim. If you'd shut your fucking mouth, if you shut your fucking stupid white supremacist mouth, none of this would ever happen.
Don't want to write about how the House GOP just voted for a bill that will economically destroy the U.S., make Trump actually immune to judicial oversight, as opposed to the de facto shit he has now, while stripping access to healthcare, including HRT, from as many as 1 in 5 trans Americans. Doesn't that mean that 4 in 5 are still gonna have coverage? So that's actually, like, not a bad statistic? Hold on, wait a minute. And banning the Affordable Care Act.
Any removal is unjust and harmful. But you don't care because you don't like them. So fuck you.
Plans from covering abortion care. Isn't Affordable Care Act paid by, like, tax dollars? Isn't this the Obamacare that I was getting fined for because I made too much money to get on Obamacare, but I didn't make enough money to afford real health care?
No, actually it was originally called, it was actually a Republican position. It was a Mitt Romney bill. And it got passed through because it was through, whenever there was actually cohesion in the two parties, Obamacare was Mitt Romney care. But you fuckers, the right wing, labeled it as Obamacare to make it seem like a bad thing. Is it good? Better than having nothing. It's better than having nothing. But could it be better? Hell fucking yeah. But what we're talking about is removing it without replacing it with anything, you stupid idiot. But because you're wealthy enough, you don't care. You can afford healthcare. Fuck everyone else. Me for myself and I, right? Fuck you.
So isn't that a good thing that taxpayers aren't going to be beholden to paying for people's abortions? Hold on, wait a minute. Hold on, wait a minute. Who in the fuck decided to design their blog like an autistic child's MySpace page? Hey! I'll have you know my MySpace page looked way better than this shit.
Why the fuck is she bouncing like this? I'll have you know my MySpace says way better than this. I can't even do it with my model. My model doesn't wiggle around like this. Is she in? Is it to make her chest jiggle? Is it because she has like all incel audience? Like what the hell? Like is it just? I can't even do it with my model. Like sit down, chill out for 5 fucking seconds. You spaz. You stupid bigoted spaz.
What does this have to do with ethics and journalism? But that's where we are. A journalist's life has been threatened for 51 days straight for the quote-unquote crime of reporting on a fascist, as well as the creeping air of queer-phobic rot seeping into a multi-million-dollar industry she covers. First of all, I think you mean a journalist is getting shit flung at them after trying to commit life ruination against a cartoon.
You said someone. You said something, right? You said something. What did you say? What did you say? Maybe if you didn't say those things, people wouldn't use their free speech and their platforms to criticize you. Stop acting like a victim, you fucking baby. You fucking baby. Oh. I said some really based and red-pilled things, and now I'm being targeted by the media, by a journalist. And then, because I said some bigoted stuff, people didn't like that, and then they doxed me. And but I'm gonna use that as justification to allow my horde of Nazi fucks in my community to harass anyone that criticizes me because I don't like criticism. Wah. I think it's okay to be a hypocrite. Stop bitching about it if you think it's bad. Maybe you should shut your stupid mouth. Maybe that's what you should do.
Fox woman, who's not a fascist, by the way, and also is not queer-phobic. What do you mean by this? Like, the majority of my moderators are part of, like, the LGBT people.
Oh, I have gay friends. Me saying like I have gay friends. Oh my god, I'm dying. The pizza, it went down the wrong pipe. I have gay friends, don't you know? Ignore me saying like trying to allow trans children to have the medical aid is grooming and pedophilic, and ignore me like targeting trans people for criticizing me and making it about their, like, it's not like, if you want to be like, I'm not pushing white supremacist talking points, that's baloney. Then why did you have to make like all this like, oh, she's a pedo about like trans people, you know? Why do you have to clip people out of context? Man. She's so stupid. I hate this bitch. And with that, we'll continue.
I tried to have a tea, but they went crazy Gestapo. Or I had a tea, but they decided to message people and be like, what are your thoughts on trans people? Which is really weird for a moderator to do. Like, why would you do that to random people in the community? You fucking weirdo. You don't fear gays. Are they pulling Trump into Gamergate now? They're calling Trump a Gamergater?
Wait.
Imagine. Tim, I literally live with a gay Korean whose mother immigrated here from South Korea. I'm so...
That doesn't mean anything. That's like really fucked up. Because like you're not, like you're okay with the... what's happening with ICE. You're so stupid. You're so fucking stupid and ignorant and like spazzy. I hate... What the hell? What is wrong with this person? I don't think I can. I don't think I can watch this at this time. I think I'll do it next stream. I had a debate set up on. I don't think I can't do it. I can't do it. Like they can't keep getting away with this. I'm done. I'm done for it now. I'll talk about it in my next stream maybe. I don't know. That's freaking wild. That's wild. Like, from the clips I've seen, like, of her just, like, hey, it's okay. It's actually okay what ICE is doing, because they're getting the illegals out, you know? It's fucking wild. Yeah. I think I'm gonna end it now. I'm pretty, fried from all this. And I just want to eat pizza and enjoy my evening and touch grass. So, I had a stream set up. I had a debate set up on Friday, but that fell through because, the whole point to set up... No, not yet. I'm not leaving quite yet. I'll leave in a second. I'm just doing my outro, I guess. So, like, I had a debate set up on Friday, and it fell through because the whole point was to do it on stream, and it was going to be about Israel's actions and if they were justified. So if you see this somehow and you want to debate about that, you can DM me. My socials in there are in the bio. You can DM. If you want to debate about anything, go ahead. Fight me. I don't care. But yeah, I'm pretty fried. Like, doom scrolling like this, I don't like it. I don't want it. I want to go touch grass. So with that, if I'm probably gonna start streaming regularly on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and possibly Sunday if I can set up something, because I don't want to just talk about politics. I also play Yu-Gi-Oh! And I want to start getting into that. I just don't know how to, like, oh, let's talk about all these political things, and then, like, I turn on, like, a game about Yu-Gi-Oh! It's like, here's all the world's on fire, now let's play Yu-Gi-Oh! Let's play video games now. The world's on fire. Everyone's lives are getting worse. Now let's play a children's card game. Let's talk about cardboard real quick. I don't know how to do that. I'm still finding myself in this platform, I guess. But yeah, if you think I'm stupid, if you think I'm a libcuck or whatever, and you want to DM me and argue against, like, the positions I'm advocating for, or anything you've heard, or anything that I've posted on my social medias, if you just want to argue at all, I'm a slut for the marketplace of ideas. I love that. So yeah, DM me. Maybe I'll cover the whole video next time. But I just can't do it. And I got a pizza in front of me that's calling my name. So yeah. Probably see you Friday. I mean Monday. I'll see you Monday. Hopefully not too many things happen. Today is Friday. I'll see you Monday. Wait, is it Friday? I don't even know what day it is.